Corvo, if only there was someone else I could send so that you could remain near. But there is no one else, and the spy master was right to insist that I send you. The plague has taken so many, and we must find a cure. When you are near, my heart is at peace. Emily and I will count the days until you return. Hurry home and bring good news, lest you become Dishonored!
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
This week I'd like to be known as Matthew Hurricane Van Zant.
Matthew Hurricane Van Zant. Johnny Outsider Brandon.
Thank you for being a Matt.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs most of the time. But this time we're talking about Dishonored.
Well,
it's kind of an RPG by modern standards.
I'm boosting stats and doing a build.
There's like one stat, two stats.
What stats do you boost? You don't boost stats.
You have like an agility stat.
Yeah.
You can tell how you can jump.
I guess that's true. Those are stats.
And health and magic points.
What do they call the magic points?
Spirit.
Spirit. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good name for it, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just like how you're feeling internally, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like spoons.
Immersive sims are the real RPGs, aren't they?
They are.
How do I make myself a rat for longer? I feel like that's the only stat I want to put points into is being a rat.
Oh, upgrade the stat that lets you turn into a rat, Johnny. It's not a complicated system.
Upgrade your rat stat.
All right. All right. Save it for the quest log, nerds. Let's talk about some hot gaming news. I feel like I put something really hot in the group chat yesterday. Cannot remember what it was for the life of me today.
Oh, well,
I've got some hot gaming news.
I have one too.
Ooh, we all got
one.
Go
first. Let's rock paper scissors for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait,
one. No, he's too slow. All right,
we'll
let's
do
start
1,
again.
2, 3, and then shoot. Okay.
Okay.
Rock.
1, 2,
paper,
3.
Scissors, shoot.
I don't. The fuck? She said, "Let's do 1, 2, 3, and then
and
shoot."
Then she did
and
it.
Then didn't do it.
Rock.
Rock.
You know what?
Paper,
Vanessa's
scissors,
out. It's
shoot.
between me and Johnny now.
No, I did exactly what I said. Rock, paper, scissors,
So
shoot.
the Until Dawn remake came out, and it's a real stinker, from what I've heard. I don't know.
Wow.
Is that hot
What
gaming
a
news,
hot
do you
take.
think?
I guess,
I just think people don't care about it. What's there to care about?
I guess the news is that it's selling very poorly. At least
it is selling poorly.
From what I saw about on PlayStation. It's also on Steam, right? Is it on Xbox?
It is.
At least this one's a PS3 game that they're remaking and not like a PS4 game.
Yeah.
With a
was
PS5
Until
version.
Dawn on the PS3?
Yeah.
I thought it was PS4.
No way.
You're
That's
right.
a PS4
You're right.
game.
It is PS4.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like a PS3 game. But you're right. I got it in 2015, so that must mean it was a PS4 game.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't quite get doing this remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, without adding at least like online co-op or putting it on the Xbox.
Add some of those other fun features you put in the Quarry, where there's like 5 different ways to play the game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like put some of that in.
Because if it had the online co-op, I know Jim and I at least would have bought it. Johnny probably would have bought it.
I would have played it.
Yeah, that would have been a fun stream type game. I mean, it still could be, but...
Yeah, speaking of that, Supermassive's last couple of games have not had online co-op, which is a bummer. They didn't have it in Frank Stone, and they didn't have it in the Until Dawn remake. That is a bummer.
We like our online co-op because it's funny.
It is, and it's fun.
And there's no reason not to have a 4-player online co-op for some of those things. They have tons of characters.
Yeah. Come on, Supermassive.
Yeah. Get your shit together.
Maybe the next Dark Pictures will have more co-op. Those Dark Pictures ones are usually co-op-y.
Yeah. Dark Pictures Alien game coming.
Yeah, the one that looks like it has a body snatcher or something.
Mm-hmm.
Alien?
In a bit of additional hot gaming
Alien.
news, that Metaphor ReFantazio game came out. Ooh. And I gotta say, the only reason I bring it up because I guess my interest in that game went from sub-zero to 100% because the reviews are really good, which makes me want to play it.
You're like, get over here, game. I want to play you.
Is this the one that someone in our Facebook group said had Persona kind of vibes to it?
Yeah, it is an Atlas game, and it's very much like a fantasy Atlas, and it's more about like trying to maybe rule a kingdom or like put together a kingdom with a bunch of Persona style. It's got a Persona style calendar system, and the reviews that I read, just like a taste, are that it's got one of the best stories in an Atlas in any Atlas game.
Wow.
Which is saying a lot considering I think the Persona games are,
Persona?
They're great. I guess the characters are more interesting than the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I love the Persona games, Matt.
Okay.
That's the Italian Persona.
The Persona!
Well, I've got some hot gaming news. This is something that we're all very interested in. And it's some news from one of our favorite developers, Paradox. Paradox says you know what, actually, I'm just going to read this direct quote. "It's not in our strategic direction to make this kind of game. So if Bloodlines 2, God willing, is successful, Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else on the license from us." So Bloodlines 2 is not out yet, but nevertheless, Paradox has decided that they do not want to make another one.
That's very interesting.
When did Paradox start working on that game?
Oh, there's some more news.
Ago.
Here's also what they said.
Oh.
As for the future of Bloodlines 2 specifically, we don't drop games. We make sure they work. We make sure they fulfill the promise that they have. The rest is very much up to the players.
They did specifically say it's not an immersive sim, right?
They did,
yeah. And when I was first looking at it, it had a lot more information about, like, here are the 8 clans you can join. And now if you go to their website, it's like, here are the 4 clans you can join. It seems to really be reducing the scope.
And that, like, they released, like, 3 or 4 minutes of gameplay, like, 6 months ago. Do you remember that little clip?
I do.
Where you're talking to that nerdy little vampire guy?
Yeah.
That looked more like Dishonored, honestly, than it did, like it looked like an arcane game.
Yeah, it did. It had a lot of sneaking. It had a whole bunch of enemies that looked exactly the same as each other. Like, every enemy character model looked kind of samey. But I didn't think it looked bad, necessarily.
No.
But didn't really look like what I expected it to, either.
It looked unfinished.
It did. Which it was at the point, so...
Yeah,
that's
it didn't
okay.
have a lot of, like, texture to it.
Yeah. It's going to be an interactive novel by the time it comes out, basically.
That's what I was thinking.
But it's coming.
All right.
That's probably what the developer wants to. Like,
Yeah.
just let us make a visual novel.
I want to
Let us
address the
stop working on
hottest,
this, please.
the hottest announcement of the week.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Are you all ready for Nintendo's biggest news.
Yes.
Are you
Oh
ready
my
for?
God. Is it?
Whoa.
Is it?
Did
It's
they
gotta be
announce
Switch 2.
Are you?
new
Yeah,
hardware?
it's new hardware
Whoa.
that,
Whoa.
Ooh.
and it's exclusive to only to Switch Online people in the U.S. and Canada right now. You have to have the premium tier. Fucking
so
Alarmo.
Like pre-order.
Alarmo!
Oh no, not Alarmo.
Alarmo!
Alarmo, the alarm clock that watches you sleep.
The alarm clock that watches you sleep. I'm gonna get one.
When I first saw it, I immediately thought that's a total Johnny thing.
Yep.
Can you imagine sharing a night of passion with John and waking up in the morning and seeing a fucking Alarmo next to the bed?
And Alarmo will go, I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
Time to
true.
get up, Johnny.
As you start having sex, it's like, woohoo!
He goes, Mamma Mia!
Mamma mia!
The
Daddy
coin noise
like.
with every thrust. Ba-bing, 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 ba-bing.
I'll put Alarmo by my sling.
Well, because Alarmo's whole thing is that it has a motion detector in it.
Yeah, it
And
does.
once it goes off, it watches you and makes sound effects as you move around in your bed.
Like my cat, really.
And I guess it cheers for you when you get out of bed, which I do
Yeah.
kind of like the thought of that.
Yep. It looks amazing. How could I not get one?
I just don't love the idea of Nintendo
You know what?
Corporation watching
You
me
think-
sleep.
If you think this is a bit, let's go here. Promotions. Where is
Yeah,
it?
then they're gonna file a patent on sleeping.
Yeah.
Like they try to patent troll everything else.
Mm-hmm. Where's Nintendo? Meet Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo. Learn
Sound
more.
clock.
It's a sound clock.
Don't you already have a Nintendo clock?
I have 2 Nintendo clocks. Thank you very much.
But they're not
What the Legend of
Alarmo.
Zelda clock?
John's that lady from the I Think You Should Leave Garfield sketch, except it's all Nintendo clocks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sign in. I have an account. You keep going. I'm just.
I don't
We're
have
just giving
anything
you
else to
time
say
to
about
Google.
Alarmo, I don't
Yeah,
think.
neither.
Oh, well, no. I mean, you can keep going. I'm just ordering my Alarmo.
What do
Oh,
you
you're
need to-
buying it right now on the
Yeah.
air?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, gross.
How much does
NSFW.
How much does Alarmo cost, John?
You know, it's like twice as much as my little Game & Watches clocks. It's like $130 Canadian.
Why? Why is it so expensive?
I don't
well,
know,
because it's not just an alarm clock, it's a sound clock.
but
What does that mean? What does it do? What
It
are
makes
its features?
noise.
It's a
Jim.
sound clock.
it's a sound clock.
It's got a little MP3 chip in there that plays little MP3s. So, yeah.
Well, I think it plays videos and stuff too. It's got a screen.
Oh, it's got a screen. Oh man, another screen. Oh, dude.
Very well. I just want to thank listeners for getting me a Nintendo Sound Clock.
You're using the Patreon? Oh, come on.
God, that poor Patreon.
To secure checkout.
Johnny, we are not supporting your poor decision making right now. Everybody boo Johnny. Boo!
Why are you all booing me? I'm wonderful.
All right, is that it for hot gaming news? Anybody got anything else, Jim?
You mentioned the Metaphor ReFantazio game. Another game came out that is also getting great reviews, and it's called Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Whoa. Silent Hill 2
Uni-
Enhanced Edition?
Universally getting great reviews.
I heard that
and
it's got woke DEI in it.
It doesn't, because it has like 4 characters in it. But I finished it today. It's a great game. I'll talk more about it in my level up. But holy cow, what a great game. I love it. All right, I think that's it for hot gaming news. Let's talk about Dishonored.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's plug our streams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's why we have notes.
Well, somebody didn't want to stream last night because...
Didn't want to?
Diarrhea.
Aw, buddy.
Somebody once told me that I had diarrhea. I wasn't allowed to stream. I want to just give a quick shout-out plug to my favorite, hottest new stream on the internet, and that's Bears in Games. Neo! They're trying to switch the order around this week. Johnny, how's that Simpsons hit and run coming along?
Well, I just got to, I think it's chapter 5 out of 7. This time, you play as Apu. I was kind of surprised that he is a playable character. It's basically the 4 Simpsons four Simpsons who aren't Maggie, and then Apu are the main characters of the game.
Huh. I legitimately thought you were saying a poo as in a Pooh Bear.
Winnie the Pooh?
Mm-hmm.
No, like Apu, the character that's not on the show anymore.
That makes a lot more sense than Winnie the Pooh. But with that open source, fair use, free market, commons. What's the name of that? What's that called?
What are you talking
about?
Creative
Public
Commons?
domain.
Public
With
domain.
that public
Creative
domain Pooh Bear, you can put him in
Oh,
anything.
right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's in those terrible horror movies that I'll never watch.
Now,
Yeah.
if you remember the show, Apu does have a sweet Firebird. Okay, it's ordered. It's all done.
Great. We're not supporting this, and we don't want to talk about it. Let me talk to Johnny about his clock. One thing...
My sound
what would be fun? Here's an idea. Somebody should do like a comic strip style thing that uses the public domain Winnie the Pooh and public domain Steamboat Willie and any other extremely recognizable public domain characters, and just do their own thing. I've
seen some Steamboat Willie style comics and stuff.
Yeah,
already.
there's that one video game that's coming out that's a first person shooter that's set in like Steamboat Willie world, where all the over exaggerated cartoony things happening, like Cuphead, but it's 3D and it's a first person.
I'm surprised Cuphead hasn't just put out a DLC that just has Steamboat Willie as a character.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch those triple click videos? It's like a bunch of English 20-somethings. And they mostly do like top 100 lists and top 10 lists. They're usually super viral on YouTube. But they have a worst games ever show. Like, I think it's once every 2 weeks where they play a really bad game. And they're playing a Disney PS2 sports game. And the girl on it, and she's like, she must be like 23, 24. She didn't know who Pete was. She didn't know who Pete was.
I mean, he's in basically every Mickey Mouse thing, so that's just like somebody
maybe he
that
never made it across the
experience.
pond.
Yeah, maybe they never got.
I
mean, she was born after Goof Troop, so I guess that does make sense.
Yeah,
but
I mean, my kids know who fucking Pete is.
Yeah,
like,
there's
that's
like that 3D show that kids watch.
Yeah, there is.
Pete was
Mickey Mouse
definitely
Clubhouse.
in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I would say there's some people just don't have experience with certain properties. And
I
she
know.
just didn't have a lot of experience with Disney.
Like there was
I found out the
one
other day that Jim Banks has never watched Psycho.
They did a list of like top 10 RPGs, and they did one about Planescape, but they kept calling it Planetscape, and the comments were just they're like, these Gen Zers don't even know what Planescape is. Those idiots.
Why should they?
Yeah.
Why should
we get
they?
comments
No.
like that too, though.
I know, but they also think we're that age, so it's funny.
We are. We're 20-somethings.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy.
I don't want to be 20-something
again.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about how the afterlife would be cool if you get to like try again, and this time like what would you call that? Speed run your life, or like do all the good decisions that would make things better. I would be interested in that if that's what afterlife was like. It's like a new game plus.
I have a little bit of a fantasy of like being sent back to kindergarten and just totally crushing it. First grade, I would be so good at first grade right now.
Yeah, I've thought about like if I could go back in time, maybe I could convince like my uncle to invest in Google and just live like Scrooge McDuck.
Oh
for the
God,
rest
can
of
you
my
imagine?
life. Like,
But I would have to make sure I didn't fuck with things enough so my parents still win the lottery in '97.
yeah,
And
silent partner.
And then get them to just invest in Apple, not spend on my dad's stupid business, and have a comfortable millionaire existence for the rest of their lives. That would be great. And I'd also like make sure I hooked up with the hottest guys when I could have and didn't realize it.
Yeah. I'd go back and not kill that man, but we all
Wow.
have our limits.
Johnny's like, I want to go back in time and add more notches to my belt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I believe that's it for hockey. Oh, I'm sorry. Stupid. We have another stream we want to plug, and that is the Square Roots Podcast YouTube channel. That's right.
YouTube.com/Square Roots the podcast.
I don't think that's how it works, actually. I don't think it works like that. We have been streaming for a few months now, and have put quite a few games under our belt. If you're interested in checking out some stuff, you can watch us play all of Final Fantasy VI, all of Chrono Trigger, all of Phantasy Star 1. I've just started an Illusion of Gaia series. I tore through the first, I think, third of the game in my first play, so though it did run a little long, we ended up going about 3 hours that night. We've also been doing some fun spookum Halloween-y streams. I'm currently playing Silent Hill 2 for the first time. No spoilers, please. We've streamed a couple, maybe 3 episodes of Phasmophobia. And a few other things. So come
Save
check
the
it out.
Queen, everyone's favorite horror
Yeah, Vanessa and I had a
game.
great fun time playing Save the Queen. Come check out the Square Roots Podcast YouTube channel to see all of that. It's us, most of us on camera, mostly on camera, playing games live, interacting with the audience. It's a fun thing to come watch live or watch the next day and just kind of see what we're up to.
I don't go on camera if I can help it.
Yeah, we know.
Still in the lamb from, killing that guy.
Killing your coven.
Oh, actually, it's triple jump. I think
pronounced Coven.
triple click is a different thing, or not a thing at all.
What?
Somebody once told me that we are playing Dishonored, and we're about to talk about it in the quest log.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you ever heard of a game called Dishonored?
No. Tell me
Yes.
about it. What is it? What's it about? Who's it
I'm not
starring?
going to tell you about it. I
What kind
want to
of game
know
is it?
your history with this game.
Oh, I've played this game like 3 times. I've definitely played Dishonored a bunch. It might be one of the best games ever made. That's my history.
Oh, sorry. I was reading a news article.
It's about Alarmo.
No.
Okay, it's quest log time. I'm going to request you all do what I'm doing and take your phone and put it on a charger, maybe in a different part of the house.
I thought this was a quest log, not a request log.
Oh! Jim is on fire.
My phone is... Oh my God! Somebody put out Jim! Jim, roll! Stop, drop, and roll! Stop, drop, and roll! My phone is not within arm's reach because I am going to be present.
Did you hear?
I'm going to be
Matt's
present.
The Pope now.
I'm going to be here for this Dishonored discussion.
Wow.
Is
Must
Matt
be
the
Matthew
Pope's
against
exorcist?
Ed.
Jim, show your commitment to the podcast by throwing your phone across the room.
I'm doing a high chaos run of this podcast episode.
Jim, what's your history with this game?
I've played this game a bunch of times.
Wow.
I think I replayed this game probably once
Oh, yeah.
18 months or so. I
I
played
had
this game
to-
a lot.
I had to delete a bunch of saves from 2022, so that's when I last
Yeah.
played it.
Yeah, probably every 18 months, like, I'll be like, I want to play Dishonored. It's kind of one of those, like, fallback games. When you're in between games, you can just download Dishonored and do a fun playthrough. I've played through this game probably 5 or 6 times.
Johnny, what's your history with this game?
Well, Do you remember the year 2012? Life was different then.
Yeah, oh boy, it sure was. Dang.
Everyone was super lukewarm on Obama getting a second term.
It was fine.
The Horizon oil rig there, Deep Horizon, got exploded.
I
And-
forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Well, we got a great Mark Wahlberg movie out of it. So it wasn't a total loss.
And Johnny worked for 3.5 months on a Jean-Paul Jeunet movie. And after that, Johnny had a lot of money because he had nothing to do and just had all this money sitting in his bank account and bought Dishonored, BioShock Infinite, XCOM, and Dark Souls. Those were the 4 games Johnny bought after that contract.
How many of those
Wow.
games did you finish?
Okay, definitely finished BioShock Infinite. Finished XCOM. So half of them.
Didn't get through Dark Souls?
I did not finish Dark Souls at all. I found it super hard. That was before I got...
You didn't. I mean, it is super hard. It's super hard.
But I think I like playing through that first Jedi game, the Jedi Outcast.
Survivor?
No, the first one.
Fallen
Order.
Fallen Order. You got it.
Yeah, that one was, you know what? That taught me how to play, and that and playing Bloodborne with Julio taught me how to play a From Software game. So I think I could I have played more, but I've never gotten super far in it.
The question is, do you want to? Because that's what I find is like, I played some Elden Ring. I played that Jedi Survivor. I don't find myself wanting to play those games.
Yeah, me either.
I think the only thing that could get me back to a FromSoft game like that is a new Bloodborne.
Yeah.
What about a Bloodborne remaster on
Or,
PC?
yeah, I'd play a remaster. I'd play the heck out of it. As long as it's done by From and not by Bluepoint, because I don't think Bluepoint has very
From?
good art.
Did they do Demon Souls?
Yeah, they did the Demon Souls, which is nice looking, but I think the original
It does
art
look
was
great, yeah.
the original art is better. That's my hot take. And with Bloodborne, the art is so good. I know, you know what? You can still play
What
it.
do you mean?
It's just
They changed the art? What do you mean?
yeah, they did a remaster of Demon Souls, and it's way more like fiddly gothic looking art. Like it still looks good. Like it's a great looking game. I just like the original designs better. And with like I find the monsters look more generic in the remaster or the remake. It's more of a remake than a remaster. But with Bloodborne, the art is so like that game is so cool. I don't want anyone messing with it. But you know what?
Bloodborne is the best.
I got it on my PS5, and even if it's not 60 frames per second and it's only 720p, it's still a cool game, and I can play it anytime. Anyway, so yeah, I got those 4 games. I got Dishonored, and I got I think at least halfway through, but I was so bad at it, and I was save scumming, like, and trying to get perfect ghost no kill runs, and I was miserable. That's why this time I'm Mr. Beaning it. I'm not trying to perfect it. I'm just kind of going with the flow, loosey goosey, like a Matt.
I don't think I've ever done a ghost run.
That's why I'm saying
I
I'm
don't
playing
know
it
that
like
I've-
a Matt now.
Yeah, I don't know that I've done a no-kill run. I've done like a low-kill run. But I don't think I've done a no-kill run. Definitely not a ghost run, because some of those people deserve to die, and I want to kill them. I'm excited to hear about your Mr. Bean. How are you all playing this? And I mean that both as in like what console or what you're playing it on, and also like what is your intent? Johnny says he's Mr. Beaning it.
Yeah.
What about you,
And
Jim?
what are you playing it on, Johnny?
Oh, well, originally I got it for the Xbox 360, and then I got it for PS4, thinking that I'll play the remaster version. And then I got it for PC, thinking I'll play the remaster version. And I'm playing it, of course, on Xbox. But at least it's on Game Pass, so I didn't buy it
on
for
Game
a
Pass, yeah. 4th
time. But it was on sale with 1 and 2. It was a package sale like 1 and 2 for $20 or something on PC.
We're definitely gonna do the DLC, right?
I think so.
Like, this is a short game. We should just do the DLC.
Yeah, no, I think the main game will probably be even as few as 3 episodes, and then another 2 for each of the DLCs. I mean, just 1 per DLC. 2 more. 5 total.
Perfect. What about you, Jim?
I'm playing this on my Steam Deck. So I got it on PC. I bought it on Steam.
Mm-hmm. You turned into a real PC gamer.
Yeah, and let's see. I'm
scoff at us and our low frame rates.
And no.
Wow.
Subpar ray tracing.
I'm just trying to be low chaos. That's my intent. So
low chill.
Going for low chaos, but I know I'm gonna get noticed, and I know I'm probably gonna panic and kill somebody. So just as low chaos as I can.
Well, I am going for a high chaos run.
Wow.
Which I don't think I've ever intentionally done. I may have gotten the bad ending once. Feels like I did. But I am going for a real kill every motherfucker I see run of this game. And I am just also, I downloaded it from Game Pass because why should I buy this game again? And I like playing games on my Xbox. It's fun.
I'm playing this game on my PlayStation. I don't know if it's part of PlayStation Plus or if I just had it already because it is one of my favorite games. I have played this game a lot, and I've done lots of different challenges, including the knock out every single person on the level challenge. But this time, I'm just going for a Clean Hands Ghost. A ghost, what is a Casper the Friendly Ghost. I'm going to be the nicest ghost of all. And
you have become what you hate.
I have never hated ghosts, and I've always made it clear that as long as you identify yourself as a ghost, and I know you're a ghost, I have no problem with you. What I do have a problem with is ghosts pretending to be a living human being. No, thank you. Own your death.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's everybody, and I think that's it. I don't think there's much else to say other than diving into the quest log.
Oh, I thought you were about to end the episode.
Yeah.
We haven't really gotten into it.
Do we have a special name for the quest log? I think it's just called like the journal or whatever and things, so probably not.
The mission objectives?
The mission objective.
I
The mission
like
log.
that.
Yeah.
It's a journal. I mean, yeah. Yeah. There's
I feel like
mission
if we
clues.
were good podcasters, we would do like a cursory amount of research and be able to discuss like what awards the game won, what its average review scores were.
Nobody cares. You can Google that stuff.
You can just Google that.
Google
yeah.
it.
Okay. Well, I'm not
That's
gonna.
what they're here for. Us
Yeah.
reading
We're not
Google
a fact
results.
podcast. We're an opinion podcast.
That's right.
We have high spirit.
And our opinions, they're bad.
Here we go. Welcome to Dunwall. The game opens with a voiceover of the letter that I read at the beginning. And then we are shown the scene of a boat ride over a busy river. This is a very industrial setting, almost steampunk, although they seem to rely more on whale oil as a fuel resource rather than steam. I would say it has a steampunk vibe.
I would say so.
And we ride our little boat through the river. We get a little bit of exposition from the ferryman who says, "Hey, you're back, Corvo. You, the Royal Protector, because your name's Corvo, and you're Corvo, and you're the Royal Protector, and you're back from your trip that you went on to see if you could find a cure for the plague." We're taken into a what do you want to call it? A lock, and we ride the water up to.
So, wait 1 sec. Can we talk about Dunwall for a second?
Sure.
because I like the overall setting of this. It's like a cool fantasy world. So Dunwall is in, I think they call it the Empire of the Isles, which is 4 big islands, all with kind of their own separate government, but all wrapped into the quote-unquote empire. And Dunwall is experiencing a plague.
Yeah. I would say
the rat plague.
Yeah.
The rat plague.
Dunwall looks and feels very much like industrial era London, I would say.
Yeah.
It's got 18th century steampunk vibes for sure.
Yeah.
So is this you're saying this is a fantasy game?
Yeah, but like a later fantasy, not a medieval fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that fantasy has to be tied to a specific time
Well,
period.
but I think when you think of a fantasy game, you think of Fable. Well, except Fable goes into this in
Or
later
like Lord
era.
of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a game grounded
World of
in
Warcraft.
reality. It's a fantasy world. And
So it's not set in the real Dunwall?
No.
it's not set
There's
in the
no
real
real Dunwall.
Dunwall.
Yeah.
It's not set in the real Empire of the Isles?
It's
No.
not.
No.
I do
The real
love...
Empire of the Isles is, of course, England, and the real Dunwall is London, as we established.
One thing that the game wants you to know straight off the bat too is one of the first things you see in this ferry is there's like whaling is kind of the main industry, and you see like a big whaler with a giant, huge whale like suspended on it, and a lot of this game's lore is tied to whales. This
is the whale talk the game. It's just all whales.
A lot of whale. A lot of whale.
It's
You could
interesting,
say
though, because does
they
it
lean
tie
into it.
Does it tie into any of the actual plot of the game?
Baleen?
Just set dressing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
I think my microphone was broken. I said "bay lean into it" instead of "they lean into it." Baleen, like whale.
I don't get it.
I do get it, but I refuse to respond to it.
Oh.
So I'm jealous of how good your joke was.
Yay!
Don't pity him.
I don't.
Oh no, pity me. I
envy
like
him.
I do.
it. You don't pity me. You envy me. I don't know why you sound like Bane there. Batman.
That 100% sounded like a Bane line from the Harley Quinn cartoon. Like, I think you nailed it, Johnny.
Thank you.
So we arrive at Dunwall Tower. We're on our way to see the Empress, but we are waylaid by a tiny little girl. A darling little moppet.
A Chloe Grace Moritz?
Is that what we want to call her?
Yeah. This game darkened the skies in 2012 because it has all the stars.
That's true.
Whoa.
Wow.
They really went for, no, we're not going to hire voice actors. We're going to hire all the hottest stars of 2012.
Yeah.
Wait, who else is in the game?
Well, okay.
Liam Neeson plays Corvo, obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Liam Neeson is Corvo?
I don't think
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
It is 100% true.
Wait, really?
No, Corvo doesn't speak. What is he talking about? In this game, you got...
Susan Sarandon
Yeah,
is Granny
Susan
Rags?
Sarandon.
Okay,
No way.
even if no one had told me that, come on.
kidding?
That is the Susan Sarandon-iest performance. It's so good.
Yeah. John
yeah.
Slattery. Who,
John Slattery from
yeah.
Mad Men. I just know him from
Mad
30
Men?
Rock,
Yeah.
where he plays that the
Spotlight.
Republican candidate that Alec Baldwin's character is forced to support because he wants him to win, but he's like, he dresses like a baby and says that "Goo Goo Gaga, that's my new campaign slogan." Remember that one, Matt?
Wait, hold on. Carrie Fisher as
that's-
alternate street speaker?
Yep. Well,
He's not even a named character?
okay, excuse me, Jim, when I said that Jim's favorite guy was playing Piero, and you said I already
Brad
know
Pitt.
that.
Oh, I knew that. Like, I recognized his voice. I didn't know that anybody
Who was
else.
Piero?
There were other celebrities.
Piero's the guy who makes the mask and all your devices.
I meant the voice actor, John.
Oh, Brad Dourif.
Obviously, I meant the voice actor.
Chucky himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and James Earl Jones is the outsider.
No, the outsider sounds like a millennial.
Who does play the outsider?
Billy
Billy
Lush.
Lush.
Who's Billy
Billy
Lush?
Billy Lush, he was in something called Straw Dogs.
So it sounds like they hired a lot
he's
of
in-
really famous actors, but only for people that were going to have 2 lines that they could pay them, $1,000 to knock out.
Yeah, all the
Interestingly, in Dishonored 2, Billy Lush was replaced as the voice of the outsider by the guy who played the Penguin in that Gotham show.
I liked the replacement voice actor much more, and had kind of forgotten. And when Billy Lush or whoever showed up in this one, I was like, ugh, he sounds like shit.
Yeah, it
terrible.
doesn't sound as good. You're right.
Man, now I'm looking at the Dishonored 2 cast. Rosario Dawson, Vincent D'Onofrio, Sam Rockwell, Pedro
Jeez.
Pascal.
I mean, this one
Dang.
has Michael Madsen as Dowd.
Dishonored rules, man. Let's just
No
this
kidding.
is the IMDb podcast where we read IMDb and get really
That
excited.
is
about
what
the
listeners come
cast.
here for.
I mean, legitimately, it's one of the best fucking games ever made.
But didn't you
And it's a great
like?
cast.
I mean, I knew going in that Susan Sarandon was playing Granny Rags, but it's such a well. I guess we'll talk about it when we get to her. But
We'll talk about what
it is a very Susan Sarandon-y performance.
But right now we're talking about Emily, played by Chloe Grace Moritz, and she
Also
is
of 30 Rock.
Also of 30 Rock.
Oh, right,
She's-
she was she the kid?
Yeah, she's
the
the
kid.
daughter or the
granddaughter,
of,
yeah.
Of the guy that dies. What's his
The
name?
Cabletown
Doesn't
guy.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Emily, and Emily doesn't care that you are here with important information for the Empress. She wants to play hide and seek.
This is what they call a tutorial.
Where are we? What the hell is going on? Dust has only just begun to form crop circles in the carpet. Sinking, feeling. You guys are letting this go on way too long.
I
I
don't
have
know
no
this
idea what
song.
you're doing.
You don't know that song?
I do not.
No.
That's definitely- I recognize it. What is it, John?
And seek trains and
He's gonna keep singing it.
sewing
All right, moving on.
machines.
Not
Is
gonna do
this
this.
a Bjork song? Because I feel
Where's the
a
mute
little
button?
bit like Bjork.
Oh, you know what? If I got to the chorus, what you say that you only meant well, of course you did. What you say that it's all for the. It's Imogen Heap. Come on, hide and seek.
I
thought I
only
knew the
know
song,
that
but I didn't know
song
the song.
from the
Saturday Night Live
SNL
sketch.
send up
Yeah.
of the show where
The
someone
OC.
walks in and gets shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
SNL send up of the OC.
I'm starting to regret putting my phone out of arm's reach.
Yeah. Come
So,
on.
my question for you, gentlemen, is: did you play hide and seek with Emily? Matt.
Yes. Why wouldn't you?
Johnny.
She's a delightful child.
Yeah, of course. I needed to have a little primer on the stealth, and I actually got it right this time. This is the first time I did it successfully.
Oh, wow. Jim.
I did. Yeah.
Nice. Me too. How can you say no to Emily? I mean, I've
What
played
happens
this
if you
game
say no?
so- I don't know. I guess she
It just
probably
moves
is
on.
disappointed.
Tutorial.
He just skips the
Yeah.
tutorial. And
also,
you
Emily
get the
hates
bad
you a little
ending.
more.
The bad ending of the game.
I'm getting the bad ending no matter what. So I should have skipped
I
it.
can't wait to hear about that, Matt. I'm very excited.
It would be kind of hilarious if, like, the one thing that decides if you got the good or bad ending is if you played hide and seek in the beginning.
It's called the death ending, and after the entire game, you're crowned king, and then you're shot by a random person from the crowd.
Yeah. Wallister lives.
I really thought like hide and
didn't
seek.
If you couldn't make it through Tactics Ogre, which we fully understand, that was the ending that I got in Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, I got the good ending, even though I did a genocide.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
And we can all take a lesson from that. So we meet some interesting people hanging around here. There's Anton Sokolov, and he's painting a portrait of High Overseer Campbell. And here's a fun fact. There's a bottle next to Campbell of liquor that you can go over and drink, and Anton will complain about you ruining the composition of his portrait.
Oh.
He's a real Da Vinci, right? He's like
He's
an
a real
inventor,
Da Vinci.
artist.
Yeah, Anton is a complete Renaissance man. Yeah.
He made the health potion you take.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good lore in this game about like the castle's defenses, because I think Campbell is like, why are you still allowing people to come in through the front gate? We have these locks here. They're so safe. If you made that the only way to get in and out of the palace, it would be way safer. And I really like using. I just think it's really cool steampunk stuff, like using a lock to go up like 100 feet.
Yeah.
It's a dry dock, basically. I thought it was pretty cool. I fucking love a dry dock, which is something I think Jim and I discussed relatively recently on this show. Yeah. I love a dry dock, and it's super
you want to
cool.
see the bottom of those boats.
And the head of the dry dock will let you know, if you talk to him, he's one of many beefy bears in this game. He's like... It
is a bear-heavy game.
There's a lot of beefy boys in this game. Handsome beefy boys and their hands are so big. Well, because I mean it's kind of I guess like a Bioshocky art style, but all their hands are just like these mammoth giant hands, and they're amazing.
It's it is a comic booky art style, like a comic booky like
it's
Photoshoppy art style.
Looking. Yeah, it's like not quite cell shaded.
The textures look like watercolor.
Of the Telltale to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
like all the skin, like it doesn't look like they're trying to go for realistic skin tones, especially like playing it in this super 4K version. Yeah, it looks like all the faces are painted textures. Like it's really cool. It's a nice look.
Yeah. So we head up to the gazebo where Empress Jessamine is talking to Hiram Burrows, the royal spy
Empress
master.
Jessamine.
Wow.
Wow. Empress
I'd like
Jessamine.
to. You know what? Never mind. Not gonna go there. This is a clean podcast for children.
Mm-hmm.
When
She's a stylish lady. She wears a pantsuit, like all female politicians.
Yeah. I mean, like, no one's going to respect you if you wear, like, a pretty dress and are a politician.
No. I don't think any...
Well, and also, doesn't that just look more comfortable? Like, she's just hanging out with her daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dresses are supposed to be pretty comfortable, too, as long as they're not, like, the petticoats and cinched waist kind.
That's the big secret. Sometimes when I'm like, I don't want to get out of my pajamas and go into the world, you just put on a dress. It looks like you've really tried, but you're just wearing like a piece of fabric around. Like it's a robe, you know? It's a robe that you wear outside.
I don't know that I would ever be comfortable in something that does basically a pair of pants that just doesn't have a bottom. Like, I don't like that. That's not fun.
It's so nice in the summer, Matt. You gotta air out.
I wear shorts. I'm good. In fact, I wear shorts in the winter. I live in Florida.
Oh, that's right. So the spy master sees us. He's like, "Oh, you're back early. That's cool. I love it. I'm so happy to see you. Okay, bye."
So we should also explain. You've been on a trip to the other islands to see if they can help out with your plague.
Right.
Yep, the rat plague.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're on like a diplomatic mission. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's weird that like the main, what's his title?
Royal Protector. He's like
Royal
the bodyguard."
Protector. They're like, "Oh, it's weird that she sent the bodyguard on this diplomatic trip.
How hard
he must be really close to the Empress."
Yeah, how hard is it implying that they are lovers?
It's basically telling you.
Yeah.
I missed you so much.
Not to get super spoilery for this game, but I think that it's pretty clear right at the beginning that they are basically giving you a tour of all the motherfuckers you're going to have to kill right up front. Here.
Emily?
Yeah,
Matt, don't kill Emily.
Yeah.
She's in the second game. You can't.
Too late.
It's not canon.
High chaos. I went to the Golden Cat and cut her fucking head off.
Whoa!
I'm the Empress now.
Yeah, Matt's wearing Emily's face around. I'm Emily now.
So she asks if we have news about the plague, and we got nothing good.
Nothing good.
It's sort of everywhere, and nobody has any cures or is able to help. Imagine a global plague where nobody has any cures or is able to help.
Whoa.
And
you know
then
what?
imagine if the Empress was like, well, I know that my people are dying, but I want to send some cures to my good friend, the dictator of the country next door. And now, wouldn't you think that person was a huge piece of shit?
Oh, yeah. But all the stuff about lockdown and stuff, I'm like, ooh. This feels different in 2024.
Does. I don't think I have played this game since COVID, and it does feel a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we as Americans had very little lockdown compared to a lot of places, so...
Yeah, everything was closed until the summer here, basically. It was...
Yeah,
It also
but...
depends on your state with the lockdowns, but also even with lockdowns like mostly or partially lifted in the States, a lot of us were like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not doing this.
Right, but I don't remember...
die. You need your haircut so bad. I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, some places were like, you can be outside for an hour a day to exercise. I don't remember anything like that. Maybe I blocked it out, but...
there was nothing like that here. There's no limits on being outdoors. So I because I was living with a roommate and he moved his boyfriend in during the pandemic, I just went for an hour-long walk every night. I lost so much weight.
Yeah.
I remember that. You were always out walking.
Yeah.
I was scared to go, and I didn't go. Oh, well, that's all in the past. And then where we are now in the present, we're talking to the Empress, and Emily's kind of hanging out, and Emily goes, hey, look at those people on the roof over there. That's funny. What are they doing? And we glance across.
Let's not make her into a fucking toddler.
Yeah, I guess she's probably 8 or something like that, right?
She's a teen. She's
Mr.
maybe a preteen.
Mafu.
She's 12.
I was gonna
Are
say
you
like
gonna
11 or
high
12.
chaos
Okay.
one?
So, like a normal 11-year-old, she's like, golly, look at the roof.
I mean, she is a lot
normal
like her
11-year-old.
character, like the same age as her character at the start of 30 Rock. She's like,
The assassins that she points out are cool. They're like teleporting across the roofs.
yeah, they turn into a big bunch of crows.
I killed a bunch of these guys.
They make a
And then
good
the game's
noise
like,
when they
okay,
teleport.
you
They're
can't-
like, whip, 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 whip.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I think
Then
this is
after
all set in stone. I don't think that you
No,
can.
you can if you don't block them or whatever, they can get you down to no health, and then it will force the little cutscene. But you can kill a handful of them, and then the game will just stop you and be like, okay, we're gonna move on.
Yep, so we get a little sword crossing, and then the Empress is like, where are my guards? This is insane. No guards show up, and then one final assassin comes across, knocks Corvo down, and backhands the Empress in a shocking moment of violence, I thought, and stabs his sword right through her tum-tum.
No.
Oh no, not the Empress.
I thought this game was gonna be a protect her simulator where you and she goes through her day and you gotta protect her. She makes princess decisions.
Yeah, let's just say you just have to save the queen. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Except she can
Bodyguard the game.
she can sometimes get arrowed or sometimes get incinerated by magic. What else happened to you in that game, Vanessa?
She got poisoned.
Yeah, you can get poisoned by the chocolate. You can get bit by a snake, I think. I'm not sure. There's lots of ways. So, she lays dying, and she's like, oh my god, Corvo, protect Emily, save my kingdom, all of that. She dies, and the guys we saw earlier all show up, and they're like, oh my god, Corvo killed the Empress! Dishonor on him! Dishonor on him!
This is the first real indication that, like, these guys are snakes. Like,
yeah.
You clearly didn't kill the fucking Empress.
Yeah.
Emily, did you say they killed the Empress? They also take Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They disappear in a flock of seagulls with her.
Yep.
And they're like, what did Corvo do with Emily? Like, buddy, clearly something else was going on.
Right.
But just remember, if you are ever like in a high stakes political scenario and someone gets assassinated right in front of you, but then the assassin immediately leaves, don't try to tend to the stabbed person. Just stand there with your hands like in a this has nothing to do with me scenario. Stay like 5 steps away, or else you're going to be blamed for the assassination every time.
Every time.
If a man with one arm shows up and kills your wife, don't try to save your wife, because then they'll blame the murder on you.
Exactly. Just like run out of the house immediately and make sure you don't get any of her blood on you.
Yeah, and keep your hands up and be like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Corvo is knocked out, and smash cut to, I think, probably about 6 months later. It's not super.
Oh,
super
does it say
clear.
6 months?
It's definitely like a few months. It does give some indication of how long it's been. 3 months, maybe.
I think they say 6. I think they say 6 months.
It's been a while though. It's definitely not like the next day.
Yeah. One feature of this of Dunwall is that there are constant PA announcements kind of throughout the city, and
exposition PA announcement.
Yeah. And I think
Citizens of Dunwall,
that's the one.
don't try to survive. Just lay down and die.
And I think it says something about, like, it's been, 3 months
One
since
week
Emily went
in.
missing. And
3 months since Emily went missing.
yeah. And Corvo's execution is scheduled for the next day.
Whoa.
Wow, I hope nothing crazy happens and he escapes.
No, he gets executed, and that's it. That's the game.
That's the end of the game. It's
like
like
joining us.
Game over.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of Call of Duty 4. You just get executed. Spoilers for the beginning of Call of Duty 4.
I was gonna play that too. So
How dare you?
this guy comes over with a tray of food, and he's like, oh, here's a good meal for you. I hope you enjoy it because it's from a friend, and your friend wants you to enjoy
Don't eat the key.
Don't eat the key lime pie that's under your bread before you have your bread. Enjoy your meal.
There's a great episode of Kids in the Hall where someone gets a cake with a saw in it, and all the guards want pieces, so he's like carving slices in the shape of a. So basically, he's just left with a cake in the shape of a saw at the end.
So, on the tray there is a key, and there's a note that says, "Hey Corvo, we think you're super cool. Please use this key to escape. You can find some explosives that we stashed, blow up the door, and just run the heck out of there." We exit the cell. There's a sword on the table nearby, and now finally we get into the meat of the game's mechanic.
I immediately
It's
try to
sneaker.
blink, and it doesn't
It's
work.
sneaky.
There's no whooshin. Where's my game mechanics?
Only sneaking.
But
I think this is a fun, delightful fucking way to like get you into the game. You're escaping the prison, and you're sneaking around behind stuff and popping out behind guys and cutting their fucking throats.
You mean choking
you
them out
choose
and then
to.
hiding their bodies?
No, I don't mean that. I mean stabbing them in the throat while you like hold their mouths shut. It's great.
This game really encourages
Try
stealth,
it, Johnny.
although it's
Johnny,
not.
Mr. Bean would kill a motherfucker.
Oh,
Well, sometimes Mr. Bean accidentally chooses the wrong ammunition for his crossbow.
Wah, wah. So yeah, this game is it's really stealth based, but you don't have to play it that way if you hate stealth. Although I think it gets pretty difficult if you're swarmed by enemies.
I think it gets kind of silly if you don't stealth it. Like they all will just kind of pile up in front of you.
Yeah,
Like it's meant to be a stealth game, and if you try to play it like an action game, it gets dumb.
I feel like
the gist of the mechanic of taking out guards or whoever is sneak up behind them and then either use your stabby sword or your hugging arm.
Ooh.
It's definitely just way more fun to play as a stealth game. Like, even as a high chaos run, I am stealthing through the game.
It's definitely designed to be played like as a stealth
I
game.
do kind of wish I could, because there's no non-lethal drop on top of someone and assassinate them. That looks so fun.
I want that too.
Yeah.
So my
Well,
style...
and the second game does have a power for Emily where you turn invisible, right?
Ooh. I've never played the second game.
Not sure.
That like has a different version of the blink.
There's two, because the second game you can play as Corvo or Emily, and they have
Spoilers.
Corvo has the powers from Corvo has the powers from this game, but Emily has a different.
She has her own stuff.
Powers.
She can turn into like a sort of shadow creature and creep along.
That's right.
And she, well, we'll get into it when we play Dishonored 2, which I'm sure is coming up any moment now. But
I
for
I
me,
might play it as soon as we finish this game.
I was thinking of the same thing.
2 this is one of my favorite games ever made, and 2 is better.
My favorite thing to do is to sneak up behind a guard and give them a nice hug, and then pick up their body and pile it in front of like the other prisoners, because they really cheer for you when you do that. They're like, "Yeah, I hated that guy. You're awesome."
I mean, it's not just this game, but one of my favorite things to do in all of these games, which is less of an issue in this game, which we'll talk about when we get there with the powers, but one of my favorite things to do in games like this, I did it in Thief a bunch as well, is to just create a fucking stack of bodies. Like, just a pile of bodies in a corner somewhere. There's 20 dudes all stacked up, snoring on top of each other. Or dead on top of each other.
It's super fun, and I like to think about what will happen when they wake up and they're like, "Oh my god, did we fall asleep together in this giant pile?
Did we have an orgy? What happened?"
Yeah, we must have. So this level through the prison is pretty linear because it's really just kind of trying to teach you the mechanics. All of the levels in Dishonored are pretty vertical, I would say. So it wants you to climb up on things and then climb down and find dark corners and sneak around. And
yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. I think the verticality is part of what makes this so fun.
Mm-hmm. And in almost every level, except for this initial one, which is more linear, you'll have the option to go high or go low or go street level, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So do you take the
Or
Michelle
in between,
Obama
because
route most of the time, Vanessa?
Mm-hmm, I do. They go low, I go high.
I also
We
like
can't
to go
both go to the
take
bathroom at the
high
same
route.
time.
It's fun. It's a good place to hang out and get your bird's eye view of the people that you're going to be taking out.
Yeah.
So, what was your technique here, Jim? Were you trying to go no kill, or did you think these guys had it coming?
Definitely try to go no kill. Like I said, I'm trying to go low chaos. So this is for me is like the weakest level of the game because it's making you play a certain way. Like usually I'm not like a crouch and sneak slowly behind people kind of player. Like I like to get up where I don't have to worry about people seeing me and then figure out my strategy from there. So being forced to like be sneaky and sneak past people, I wasn't totally in love with that, but I did it, and I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Or I tried not to kill anybody. I killed a couple people.
Happily, it's a pretty short one. We go sort of through the lower
it's barely
prison,
a level.
some walkways. We head into the interrogation room where we can listen to our first audiograph. Is that what we want to call these things?
That is what the game calls them.
They're sort of a phonograph, but with punch cards. So like a music box, but with voice audio recording. I know those things did exist at one point. Because I think
they had those like pianos that played music.
They have player pianos,
right?
and then I think that's what like Lincoln's voice is recorded on. Is like
that's right, yeah,
one of those thingies. So we listen to Hiram Burrows. He's trying to extract a confession from Corvo, and he's like, "Man, this guy just won't confess. Oh well, we'll kill him anyway."
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like he believes that Corvo will be confessing. They're trying to beat a false confession out of him.
Right. They're like, "Oh, it would have been really nice if he had, but oh well." We grab the explosives. We do some more sneaking. It kind of takes you through a more open area where people are patrolling. It takes you to a place with some rooms that you can use the keyhole mechanic and peek at people through the keyhole with. And,
I got a bone charm that helps you with peeping.
Oh.
It gives you more of a zoom with peeping.
Give me a second here, Johnny. Let me just dial. Hello, Mounties. Yes, John Brandon again. He's talking about peeping.
I love peeping. It's a good mechanic.
We're going to use that audio clip in your trial.
Yep. And we finally get to the main entrance where we slap our little explosive on there and blow that sucker up.
What is this, do you think? Because it kind of looks like C4, so I guess it's like just whale fat.
Whale?
Yeah.
W4?
Compacted whale fat.
So I had a question for Vanessa here, and Vanessa said
Yes.
we'll talk about it on the show.
I'm prepared.
I've been throughout. I maybe one guard saw me at one point, but it wasn't a big deal, and I just hid for a while before this. But everyone was calm. There was no one looking for me, and I got to the door, and I could even put the explosives on the door, and no one was after me. So I put the explosives on the door, and then I got into the dumpster next to it and closed the lid. But as soon as it exploded, someone came and opened up the lid and started screaming at me and shooting at me, and then I had to
crazy.
jump into the water and swim away while all the guards in the level were trying to kill me.
Did you assume that they would see a door get exploded and nobody would be curious about that?
Well, I didn't. I thought
cool.
maybe I could hide afterwards. That was what I assumed. But so how do you do this stealthily, Vanessa?
So my technique was to knock out every guard on my way to this place.
Oh.
And then once I got to the room with the wall to blow up, I shut the door behind it because it has a big door that you need to open to get into there. I knocked out the guards in that room, put them in the other room, shut the door, put the explosives, blew it up, and then you can get spotted really easily here by the guys outside too. But basically, if you explode the door and then immediately run and jump into the water and swim to the other side of the river, they're not going to see you.
Oh, wow. Okay. As long as you've
so
knocked out all the guards in the room.
As long as you knocked out all the guards in the room, or at least I think shut the door so they can't just get in there immediately. Then we swim across the river and enter the sewers. And we see another note that's like, "You're doing great. This is the right way." And here we observe another one of the sort of game's big things, swarms of rats.
These are annoying.
So if you're trying to go for a no death run, do you have to save the 2 guys that you watch get eaten here?
No, because it's not a no death run, it's a no kill run. And we didn't kill them. Mother Nature did with her swarm of rats.
When you eventually get your swarm of rat power and you use it, does that count as a kill?
Yes, because we killed them with our swarm of rats.
If you knock out a guard in a rat zone
So
and they
rats
get eaten,
don't kill people, people kill people. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if they get eaten after you knock them out, is that a kill?
It is, because you are responsible for their death, and it was foreseeable that if you left them passed out in a rat zone, rats would come and eat them.
That's why the 2 guys in the alley in the next level, I put them into a dumpster just to keep them nice and safe.
That's very
That doesn't make a lot of sense to
Johnny.
me. Like, rats can get into dumpsters. They love it there. That's basically their home.
In this game,
Those
That is a
dumpsters?
rat zone. Oh, yeah, these super secure dumpsters. They're garbage. Jim, what's your take on the rats?
You know what? Kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, but I do like possessing them.
yes, that's my favorite part of the game, 100%.
I like
for sure.
eating the white rats to gain spirit back.
Oh.
I like that too. They're a crunchy treat.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, do you have a problem with rats in the same way you have a problem with spiders?
No, not at all.
Jim, did you see the movie Sting?
I did see the movie Sting. I saw it in theaters.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Jim, did you see the movie Willard?
I
Oh.
did see the movie Willard.
The original or the remake?
I've only ever seen the remake. I haven't seen the original. I do love me some crispy.
Yeah, I was going to
blubber.
say.
Oh man.
So we see these guards. They're looking for Corvo. They wander into a room. They do a nice, helpful bit of exposition. They're like, "Oh, watch out for booby traps down here. There sure are booby traps in the sewers. Oh my God, rats!"
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
and
you
the
call
swarm
your
of
bra?
rats- That's what I call my bra, a booby trap.
Oh, boo.
I love it. Best joke of the night. That's the episode title. Booby trap.
Nah, Baleen was
I
the
hate
best
it.
joke of the
I'm
night.
editing that out.
So we sneak past these guys as they die. Rip. There are some tripwire traps down here in the sewer. Did any of you
Whoa.
run into those?
Yeah, they're annoying. You can't. Well, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. You can't blink through a tripwire, by the way. That's
No.
dumb.
Oh,
Well,
really?
because you're still a physical being moving through the world. You're just doing it fast.
Are you? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
how that works?
That's how that works.
That's how you shoot yourself upward? You're still a physical being?
Yeah. It's not a teleport power. It's a zip over power. We open up a valve that has like a dead body slumped on it. There's a big swarm of rats past it. You can use dead bodies to distract rats, and you should.
Oh, interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah, so if you have a dead body, you can toss it over near the rats, and they will eat it up for you. And finally, we run into our gear. We get two
Whoa.
very important pieces of gear. We get the foldy sword, which is a sword
All right.
that folds up.
I don't know why that's important. A knife would be just as good.
Yeah,
This is longer.
it's longer, and it folds up.
So you can
I
put it away.
don't know how that would actually work in life. I don't think it really would.
It folds up and then you put it in your pocket. What's
Okay, I'm
what?
just...
Your guys' imaginations have no problem with somebody blinking to another physical place, but sorry, this sword just cannot get small enough.
I know, I mean,
I
I
don't.
think it...
I don't have a problem with a folding sword. I just don't understand how it's better than a knife that's just smaller. Like, what's better about this?
Well, which
I
one
don't
goes
know
like,
with swords.
and which one's just
I
like,
guess-
oh, I have a knife.
Sometimes you get into
Yeah.
a sword fight, so I guess it makes sense to have like a sword.
But your foldy sword, it's not going to have, it doesn't have the strength. It has all these weak points where it has the seams where it folds up.
It's fucking magic, Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
It's not magic. I don't think it's magic.
It's not magic.
Whale magic. They're made from made from whale metal.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's true.
It has a whalebone hilt.
Whale steel is bendier than.
Yeah, it's bendier and stronger.
It's called whalite.
Whalite. And we get a cute little wrist crossbow.
I love the crossbow.
Is it on your wrist?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just a crossbow.
I thought you're holding it.
Yeah, you're holding it in your hand.
My bad. You get a.
Have you ever even played this game?
No.
She did what I did with Tactics Ogre and just used a guide and a script and pretended to play it.
Yep.
You fucking suckers. You guys played Tactics Ogre.
God damn
it.
Bunch
of dorks.
God!
Yeah, I'm just having the AI play Corvo for me.
Mm-hmm.
You can wander around the sewers. There's a safe here with a note that says, "Look to your whiskey if you forget the clue." Mm-hmm. Johnny, did you solve this riddle?
Well, I didn't even look for any clues. I was just like, this is the first combination safe in one of these stealthy games, so it's going to be 451, because it always, in every one of these stealthy games, is always 451, because that was the code. Well, 0451 was the code of the Looking Glass Studios office and is a reference to Fahrenheit 451.
What?
Yeah.
Was it
what
451?
What an amazing lore drop. It was 451.
What the fuck?
Look, think about, like, in, what was that game called? Space Prey. Prey, it's 451. Bioshock, 451. Deus Ex, 451. Thief is 451.
Oh, it is 451 in Prey.
Wow, what an amazing piece of video game lore we've learned.
Mm-hmm. I am legitimately impressed, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Jim, did you solve this riddle?
I did. It's like behind the whiskey bottles or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, the rest of this game, if you see a safe, just look around. The number is written down somewhere.
Yep.
Except for the one in the next chunker where it's like, oh, well, go beat this man half to death and then get the combo out of him.
Oh. Wow.
Mean. So we enter an area
These people
where
are scum. And also not real.
An area where there are some bodies being dropped by guards who are just like chucking plague bodies into the sewers, which doesn't seem hygienic.
I love listening to the dialogue of the characters, the NPCs. Like, this reminds me of playing Thief a lot, where, like, you can just sit and listen, and, like, it'll repeat, but, like, they just have dumb conversations with each other, where they're like, "You going to get some whiskey tonight?" "Oh, yes, sir, I'm going to go get laid." Like, it's so fun. It's so fun.
I do like it. I like them living their lives, and they don't even know I'm there, and I'm like,
Well, and you can buy the upgrade, which we can't do yet, but I'll just say it. That you can buy the upgrade to your mask, where you can zoom with, like, your eyepiece. You get a zoom mechanic, basically. And if you zoom in on people, which doesn't make a lick of fucking sense, but if you zoom in on people, you can hear them a lot better, and you can just kind of hang out and listen to their conversations really clearly. It's fucking delightful.
Well, even before you go into the Hound's Pit, that's what it's called, right? The Hound's Pit Inn.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
You can keyhole it and listen to a conversation where they all talk about you, which is pretty fun.
No, I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, you gotta do some peeping, Matt. You gotta learn to peep.
This is another rat place where we can use these dropped bodies to kind of get the rats away from this wheel that we want to turn. But you guys didn't seem to know about using the bodies, so how did you get past these rats?
I use the body.
I use the
I
bodies.
killed those people, so...
What people? The rats?
The people up
Yeah.
above you?
The rat people.
Oh, the rat people. I know.
okay.
I knew how the bodies work because there's like a screen that explains it. That just stops the game
Yeah.
and gives you a tutorial
damn
like
it.
throw bodies to attract rats. All right. Okay. Yeah.
You know that Matt can't read the text
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
screen.
Can't
right, he
read
gets a
text on
massive
the
boner.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stop jacking it.
Right.
Yeah, he gets too excited.
Yeah.
He loves literature.
I thought that this was a podcast where we didn't repeat the same bits year after year.
What
We
gave
have
you that
nothing else.
impression?
Maybe it's time to move on from that one.
Yeah, even the storied history of Square Roots has given you that impression.
It's because he finally got us to stop doing Little Baby Fresh Eyes.
Okay. Well, there is a horny grandma in this game, so I guess we'll
The-
be bringing that
the-
back.
True.
Peak horny grandma.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
Meow.
So there's some guards to get past further in the sewer, and finally we reach the end where Samuel the Boatman is waiting for us. Do you guys like Samuel?
He's great.
Yeah,
He's always.
it's a man.
I like to think in a movie adaptation he would have been played by Jim Varney.
Oh, interesting.
You like to think that in a movie adaptation of this game that came out in, what, 2014?
2012.
He would be played by somebody that died in, like, 1992?
I mean, a fantasy casting.
Well, if we're going that route, then I would choose Jerry Orbach to play him.
Ooh.
Because of his eyebrows.
Yeah, because of his eyebrows.
I feel like Tom Waits could do a good job as this guy.
All right, okay.
I feel like if Tom Waits played him, then I would, like, for sure think that he was supposed to be, like, Sharon and was going to ferry me to the underworld.
What if it was Homicide, Life on the Streets guy?
Andre Brower?
No, the other guy. The one who's in all the shows. Like, he always shows up as the homicide detective. Old white guy. Gray hair.
Matlock?
I know who you're talking about.
I don't know
John.
the name of the actor.
Me either. I can't remember his name. Old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're fantasy
Top
casting...
shows.
I would be more than happy to have him played by Don Knotts. You know?
Ooh. I'm gonna ride this boat all the way back to how does that
Yep.
Don't go that way, Corvo. They have a wall of light.
The wall of light's gonna fry you. It's gonna fry you.
Well, here he is played or voiced by Ray Catrona, who you may remember as Betty Draper's father in Mad Men.
Hugh.
Ray Catrona.
Oh my god.
Worth it.
So we meet Sam, the boatman, who is probably the most important character in this game, and he takes us on his boat to, what the fuck is happening?
It's me, Ray Catrona.
Cool. Good audio content on this podcast. He takes us to the Hound's Pit pub.
Yeah, this is sort of our home base where we'll
It's a hub.
revisit a few times between missions.
Well, we'll get to unlock different stuff, and it's a real fun time.
It's a real fun time. It's a real great place. Samuel explains that this is in the quarantined or maybe the evacuated district, so no one's really around. And that these resistance people who are against the Spy Master is now the Lord Regent,
coup.
we learn.
Yeah.
And they think he sucks, and they don't think that Corvo's guilty, and they want to find Emily and restore her to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet all our new friends. We meet Admiral Hackett, who's a salty old sea dog.
Is there an Admiral Hackett from Mass Effect? I'm pretty sure there's an Admiral Hackett in Mass Effect.
Is there? I think there is, yeah.
I think you're right. He's in all 3 games, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he the one who you're talking to on the radio in Mass
Yeah,
Effect
he's
3
Lance
the whole game?
Hendrickson or something.
Yeah, there is.
Admiral
And now I'm
Hackett.
paranoid that I've made up that he's called Admiral Hackett in this game.
I think it is Admiral Hackett.
Nope, it's Admiral Havelock.
Oh, okay.
Admiral Hadlock, played by John Slattery, also of Mad Men. And I think that he's married to George Clooney's ex-wife. Does that
Ooh.
sound true to anyone?
Rosemary Clooney?
Nope. Rosemary Clooney was George Clooney's aunt.
I couldn't name a single person that's been married to George Clooney.
What about
So
Amal Clooney?
Yeah, Amal, that's her name. That's the only one I know.
Let's see. He is married to Talia Balsam, who was married to George Clooney from 1998 to 1993.
Cool.
Wow, they were married a negative amount of time.
For me, it was 1989 to 1993.
It's like 4 years. That's shorter than my marriage, and my marriage was short.
Well, you'll be happy to know that after she married John Slattery in 1998, she has stayed married to him.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can't
I'm gonna
love,
divorce a slap man.
You know,
love to
John
know that.
Slattery, nature's upgrade from George Clooney.
I mean, have you seen his performance in Spotlight? The guy's a great actor.
He is a great actor. And he does a great job in this game as Admiral Havelock.
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 Havelock sounds like a new metal band.
Yeah. Havelock.
Does
And we
it?
also...
It sounds like an emo band to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that too.
And we also meet the youngest...
New metal bands were named things like Spit.
Saliva.
Yeah.
I'm in the band Disturbed.
Disturbed.
It would have to have a
Slipknot.
misspelt name for some reason.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to have a misspelled name. It just has to have a dumb name.
We meet the younger Lord Pendleton, youngest of 3, and he is voiced by Derek Phillips, who you'll of course remember from Friday Night Lights. He played Billy Riggins.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that.
Billy Riggins!
Fuck!
Oh, man.
It's Billy Riggins!
Guys, I love that show. I love Friday Night Lights.
You know,
Old
Jim,
Billy Riggins.
Jim, I never watched Friday Night Lights because I lived that growing up, and I don't ever want to fucking experience it again.
It's great. I mean, if you ever want to see some heartfelt speeches in a TV show, you watch a few episodes of Friday Night Lights, you'll get your fill.
I don't ever want
They'll
to
leave you in
experience a high school football culture again in my life because
Listen
I
to Coach
lived
Taylor's
it
speeches in
IRL
that show.
and it was garbage. It was a nightmare.
Matt, let me tell you something.
I don't think that you're
Clear-
understanding what I'm saying to you. Like you're
Clear
so
eyes,
in
full
on
hearts, can't lose.
You're
Clear
so
eyes,
in on
full
the
hearts,
speeches being
can't
good
lose.
that you're like, don't worry about your trauma.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Ugh. Ugh.
Continue.
Billy Riggins hype.
Billy Riggins!
Yeah.
So we meet them and they're like, hey, what's up? We're your new best friends. Here's the deal. We're going to save Emily. We're going to avenge the Empress. We're going to take out all of these people who conspired to frame you. They suck. But first, don't you want to have a nice little nappy? And they send you off to bed.
I mean, it feels like you probably do want to nap.
Yeah, you've been sleeping out of prison for the past 6 months.
Even sleeping
I mean,
in a
you
prison.
think they'd want to fill you full of food first, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they sent us that food with the key. You know, we ate that nice bread.
Yeah, they
And
know we
also-
just ate.
Yeah, Corvo can eat to restore his health, and there's food all over these maps.
Oh,
mostly tinned fish.
I love the eating sound effect. It's like,
Yeah.
Yep, it's amazing.
I did explore. This is where I found some gay smut in the bathroom on the first floor. There's a book about a prince from Tyrion who seduces a lord. And he's like, your touch feels so hot. It's electric. It's a fun little book. So I guess gay smut is okay in progressive Dunkirk.
So what you're saying is that this game should be called Woke Honored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you can't play as
decent amount of. There's a decent amount of money to be found around this place, and I definitely just robbed everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you get so much money here. I'm surprised. Like,
yeah,
especially after you wake up and your room's full of like weird antiques you can just buy and pawn, I guess.
I feel like that happened with me as well, but I kind of felt like that was maybe like
that's a special game edition.
Yeah, like bonus. A remake.
Yeah, I was wondering why I suddenly had 2,000. I didn't remember that in the original version, and I had like 2,000 coins to spend.
But suddenly. There is like you can go into Pendleton's room, you can go into Havelock's room, and they've got stuff around. Like you can rob this place blind, and then turn around and dump all of your money into Piero.
Mm-hmm. And you meet Piero before you go to bed. They're like, "Oh, you should say hi," and you do, and he's like, "I got this sick ass mask for you."
Yeah, he makes you help him
change some oil.
Mask he makes you change some whale oil, which I love the whale oil tanks, which are like empty whale oil containers, and there's these huge things on the wall, and you pull a lever, and it drops down like a vending machine. It's very like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like
it's like those power cubes from Control that you had to slot into things.
Oh yeah.
And they're very silly.
And if you read the lore about it, there's universal adapters. So all basically every machine has an adapter to work with a whale oil cartridge. So that's like there's one shape of whale oil cartridge for all the machines.
And they're
it's just more go ahead.
Unwieldy. You can't if you're carrying one, you can't use your sword or your crossbow. You need both hands.
It's just more of the game teaching you like, oh, these whale oil tanks are going to be fucking everywhere and they're explosive, and like you can use them to power devices or depower devices. Like it's the game organically teaching you how to do this stuff. It's good. It's smart. It works.
And I bought 1,000,000 crossbow bolts because he gives you that cool foldy sword and that crossbow, that tiny little crossbow thing. And I got the sleepy darts because that's my backup. If I'm Mr. Beaning and I fail to choke someone out or press the wrong button because I had blink equipped or whatever, I can have a crossbow bolt that will put them to sleep and end my problems forever.
I spent all my money on upgrades. I got the as I mentioned earlier, there's a spyglass upgrade for your mask that lets you zoom. And I upgraded like my ammunition amounts. And
I thought I bought
like
a thing that reprogrammed machines, but I couldn't find it in my inventory. I don't know what I did.
It's a rewire tool.
Yeah.
And you definitely can find them around. They're very handy.
I think that they just appear when you approach a thing that you can use them on, John.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, it's in your inventory.
It is? Okay.
Oh, is it?
Maybe,
you have to choose it.
Maybe I didn't buy it.
I must be mistaken. So, we meet Piero.
You know what? I think I'm a liar. I don't think it is in your inventory. I think that it does. If you just come up close to something that you can rewire, it says.
Like what Vanessa said.
Vindication.
It'll say like rewire tools remaining.
Yes.
And it'll
Vindication.
Because I do want to try rewiring a wall of light because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I did that. It's super fun watching people walk through it and turn to ash. Also, Vanessa, calm down. I said I thought it was the one thing, and then I immediately said that you were right. Like, it's not like this has gone on.
Vindication. I am vindicated.
All right, so we go to bed.
we go to bed and we have the sweetest dream a girl can have of a tall, mysterious, dark-eyed, floppy-haired stranger.
You know what? Vanessa is as into goths as I am. But it's
Why
just
does he
goth
look like
boys,
Pete
and I'm
Wentz
into
from
goth
Fallout
girls.
Boy?
Repeat that, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, Matt was talking.
He looks nothing like Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy.
He looks like Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy.
He looks nothing.
Pete
Or he
Wentz,
looks like Dante
Ashley
from that
Simpson's
DMC
ex-husband.
Devil May Cry game.
Yes.
He has
Vanessa.
silver hair in that.
Yeah, that's true. And black eyes, as dark as the
He has
blackest
black eyes.
night.
He has big, sticky out ears. And
Vanessa
he's like,
loves big sticky out ears.
I
on a
love
man.
them. Nature's handles. So,
Oh my god. If a woman grabbed me by the ears, I would lose my mind, and not in a good way.
That's why
Hang on.
she...
I want to go all the way around the room. Jim, a sexual partner grabs you by the ears. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I would be okay with that. You know what? I would be more disturbed if she called them natural handles or whatever Vanessa said, than if she actually did it like that. That creeps me out.
Johnny, a sexual partner grabs you by the ears.
How big are his hands?
Also, everyone knows that nature's handlebars are hips.
but men don't have hips.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
we do. What are you talking
I guess
about?
technically
And they-
men have hips.
They're just not nearly as fucking sexy as a woman's hips.
So, the outsider visits us in our dreams. We're dreaming of sort of the Hound's pit, but it's coming apart. It's flying up into the ether. There are whales in the sky. Everything's crazy. And the outsider says, "Hey, it's me. I'm the outsider. You might have heard of me. The whole, Church of the Overseers you have is all about combating my influence. But I'm here, and I'm going to help you achieve your dreams." So he gives us a little tattoo on the back of our hand. And he says, "Now I'm going to teach you how to use this special power called Blink." Which is, as we talked about, a way to quickly traverse through space.
Don't lie. It's a teleport. We all know it's a teleport.
It's a teleport, but you have to... But it's sort of not, because, you can't teleport through a small space or something like that. You maintain your same size and tangibility.
That's fair. That makes sense.
It also, playing it on the PS5, I got the delightful surprise that it does its little noise of whoosh or whatever through the PS5 controller,
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
which was super fun because it does every power you use does a little whisper, and I'm not quite sure what the Blink one is, but I know that the one where you can see through walls, it goes enhanced eyes. And
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh, I never knew what it whispered.
Yeah, I've never understood what it says.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, me
mumbles a
neither.
lot when you turn into a rat. It's like,
Let's
Listeners
look it
gonna
up.
love that.
ooh, yeah, it's like an ASMR episode of the podcast.
Oh, I think Blink says zoom because you're zooming around, so it goes
Oh yeah.
zoom.
So it's
Anyways,
like a
we
Mazda
have
thing. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying.
superpowers
Zoom,
now.
zoom.
Yeah. Mazda commercial from the
Yep.
90s.
Uh-huh.
So
I think they still
we-
do that, Jim.
I said from the 90s.
Yeah, and I said I think they still do it.
Oh, do they?
yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it is. It was embarrassing in the 90s as well. Remember the little kid being like, zoom, zoom. Ugh. Weird.
And we're given a wonderful gift of the outsider's heart.
It's a clockwork heart.
Wait, is the heart the outsider's heart?
Well,
He says he made it.
In that, like, this is my pillow, or this is my controller, this is my phone. He has a heart, which clockwork in it. I believe that it's Empress Jessamine's heart.
I believe so too, because her voice comes out of it.
Her voice comes out of it.
Like a heart. That's where your voice comes from. It's from your heart.
And sometimes she says things that sort of imply that she is Jessamine. So the heart will show you. Yes, Matt.
Who is the outsider?
Oh, that's a great question. The outsider is this guy who we meet in the dream. He has black eyes. He has big ears. He has black hair.
You're just repeating things you've already said.
He's just the team from. He's the team from Agatha.
He's the outsider. Not what do his fucking ears look like.
I also know
who the outsider is.
Well, I do too, but we don't
want to say?
No, because we don't really learn until like the third game. So
there's only aren't there only two games?
There's not a third game.
There is a third game.
Is that the death
of Dishonored Death of the Outsider?
That's
not a
DLC.
It's not a DLC.
That's
it's
DLC.
Its own game. It is
not
its own
DLC.
game.
It's definitely not its own game. It's DLC.
I was going to ask,
you can
actually.
Walk into a store right now and buy it in a box. It's its own.
Oh, wow.
game.
Yeah, it is its own game.
It's like a Dragon Age Awakenings. It's its own thing. It's not really DLC for Dragon Age 1.
It's Dishonored 3.
How dare you refer to a DLC as fucking Dishonored 3, you piece of shit. You're such a fucking fanboy who's
I guess it's more like
told by the corporations what he's allowed to buy. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Why is Matt ranting? He just stood up on a literal soapbox. It was weird.
I keep this soapbox around for a reason. Because it's bigger than an apple box.
So the heart will show us the location of runes and bone charms, and it will also tell us a little.
What's a bone charm?
Oh, good questions. A rune is what we use to upgrade our powers, and a bone charm gives us a little extra bonus or skill to our abilities.
That didn't answer my question again, though.
Oh, what are they? They are carved from the bones of whales by a civilization that existed where Dunwall stands before Dunwall was there, and these people worshipped the outsider.
I read a book it was in the Hound's Pit that says that they can also be carved by a husband or from a husband.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that husbands have uses.
Yeah, it's by this lady. She's got a weird nickname, like Granny Cloth or something.
Yeah, Granny Cloth. Mm-hmm. So we get our first power of blinking around the map. It's pretty fun. Do you guys like it?
Yes,
pretty fun.
I love it. I just wish it was. I think you can extend its range, although I do want to get more rat time first, but then I'll get more blink. You know what? I know really you should be putting more points into blink than into rat, but rat is so fun.
If you upgrade the possession too, you can possess people.
Yeah, but who the fuck cares about that?
I'm actually not sure.
Sorry,
if the upgrade
I didn't know you had a rat fetish.
I want to be a rat.
I don't know if the upgrade gives you more rat time or if it just gives you people time.
I want more rat time.
I don't know.
You can't be a rat forever. You have to be a man. You have the responsibilities of a man and the bills of a man.
Sean's sad now.
Yeah.
I want to be a rat.
I feel like that works better when Vanessa does it.
Pout and shift back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little girl. I had actual, hands-on experience being a little girl, Johnny, so it's really not fair to hold yourself up to me in who's better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
We
that was straight up misogyny, by the way. Like, I got news for you. Vanessa. Not only little girls pout. That's a universal thing. That's not a female thing.
I was saying that
Female.
he was pouting like a little girl, though.
He could have been pouting like a little boy. How dare you?
But he wasn't. I saw the whole thing.
Also, I just want to say my take on this. I am boring. I upgraded Blink, obviously, but then for me it was Dark Eyes. Like I gotta have my teleport and my vision upgraded, and then my movement speed stat. Mm-hmm. Like I always do this in this game. Like and in the second one, I always upgrade the boring stuff first. Where I'm like, give me the fast movement and high jump, and give me the best vision so I can see everybody and find all the bits and bobs. And then I start going ham on the possessions and swarms and weird powers. I never use I can't remember what it's called, the adrenaline power or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the one that like makes you more ferocious. Or
I
whatever.
don't give a shit about that. Oh, and then you also have the option to get the I can't remember what it's called, the like shadow kill power. When you stealth kill someone, they turn to ash, so you don't have to worry about the body.
That's a useful one.
Oh my god. And then you can upgrade that again where just anybody you kill turns to ash, because I don't always stealth kill people. Sometimes I just stab them in the face. And it's great to not have to hide bodies. So I always kind of do the boring upgrades first, and then later on it's power time. Like, we're 3 levels in and I'm going to start rat swarming people. And what's the time? There's a time stop power.
Yeah, stop time. There's like
a
whirlwind.
but like I don't need that because I'm stealth killing everyone. So what do I care? You get that ash kill power, and you can headshot people with your crossbow, particularly if you've upgraded the spyglass on your mask. You can headshot people from a mile away, and they just vanish. It's fucking great. It's great. Also,
it's sort of like Thanos snapping people.
You know what? Perfect example. Also, we didn't really talk about it when we got it, when Piero makes that mask for you, where he's like, nobody can know who you are, Corvo. And so he gives you this fucking crazy, like, death steel mask. You get a mask shaped like a skull. It's the least subtle thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
It's like,
so
you'll
you can
blend in fine here.
It's less subtle than Darth Vader's mask. Like, it's crazy.
But you don't look like Corvo. That's the point.
He could have given you a fucking human skull to wear on your head to be like, nobody will notice you if you're wearing this. And it probably would have been less subtle.
Would have been great if he gave you a mask of Jessamine. Like, wear this one, you. Nobody will recognize you as Corvo.
Yeah, wear this beautiful porcelain mask.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah. Post-COVID, it does seem a little weird that they don't, like, make it a conceit that everyone's wearing masks anyway, and that's kind of how
Okay,
they
but this is, like,
away.
Renaissance-era science. So even though they've got these, like, wondrous technologies, like, they don't know. They're talking about,
true.
like, the bile and the fucking 4 humors or whatever. Like, these people are idiots when it comes to medical science.
That's
They're idiots. They're morons.
So we wake up the next day, and it's time for our first real mission.
Whoa.
We're going after High
The first
Overseer
real mission of the
Campbell.
game.
First real mission of the game. He's bad news. We gotta get rid of him. And also, we want to get his little black book of secrets, because that will probably tell us where Emily is being kept. And then, they also want something else from us. They're like, oh, while you're going there, you gotta find this guy, Overseer Martin, and save him. And you're like, okay, I got 3 things to do. Get rid of Campbell, get the little black book, find Overseer Martin. Then we're on the way out, and we're approached by this woman, Callista, who I think is one of the maids there. And she's like, oh, I need you to save my uncle, Captain Curnow. Captain Curnow?
Curnow, yeah.
Cut and row. Yep.
He's meeting with High Overseer Campbell, and I'm worried about him. So we have so much to do, golly. But with that list in hand, we head to Dunwall. And this kicks off our first sort of semi-open world level.
Yeah.
I guess it's semi just in that, like, it does have limits, but every open world does. You can't run all over Dunwall, but it's pretty big.
You got loading screens, Vanessa.
Yeah, that's true.
It got
You're
loading
right.
screens.
It's not an open world. It is not an open world.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
I mean, it is, but it does have... And it was made for the 360, and that didn't have much memory, so that's why it had to have these...
Get used to this area, because you're going to be coming back here.
Oh, really?
The next mission starts in this exact same spot.
Oh.
It does, but that's the only instance of that in the game, so I don't quite know why they had to double up for those two.
Yeah.
It is. This is a. Well, it's not a big area, but it's a big series of areas. There's a ton of extra stuff to do. Mm-hmm. This is where the game proper really kicks off, and it's fucking fantastic.
And so with the heart, you not only it can show you where all the runes are. I did grab the rune from the Hound's pits. There's a hidden rune, and there's bone charms. I didn't get all the runes and bone charms because I'm not trying to 100% this time because that made me miserable.
There's an easy to get rune here, like right before you leave to go on the mission. Then we have to swim out a little bit. It's like on the outside of the Hound's Pit area.
There's some angry fish there, so you have to watch out for the angry fish that will start nibbling on you. There is... Yeah, so what I really like, though, is if you point the heart at someone, you get to learn a little bit about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little secret.
Are they always sad? It sure seems like they're always sad. Like
they are, and I don't know if that's because everyone in Dunwall is pretty sad right now, or maybe it's because Jessamine's sad, and that's how she sees the world.
I guess if within a few years half the population died, probably everyone's going to be pretty sad.
Yeah.
I think that you have... I don't think it's either of those things. I think that these are dark powers that reveal dark secrets.
Oh, ooh, that's some good fan theorying, Matt. I like it.
Thanks. Well, that's my headcanon now. So
good headcanon.
Great, yeah. Maybe if we had
and if anybody disagrees with it, I'll send death threats online.
A light power spleen, they would tell
us. Let me just point this heart at Matthew. One time, he fell asleep on a hot dog. Oh.
Yep. That's definitely my darkest secret.
Hot dogs.
I had hot dogs for dinner tonight. Hot dogs and beans.
Ooh.
There's no kids around.
Like
I don't have to eat vegetables like an animal.
Well, it sounds like a good survived a storm meal too, you know?
It's like in Final Fantasy VIII when they save the hot dogs. It's from that during the hurricane.
Yeah.
We gotta evacuate. Grab the hot dog.
I got 3 packages of hot dogs stuffed into my pants. If I die, these hot dogs are coming with me.
So once we get into this sort of first plaza area, there's
so I can cross the gates of Valhalla with hot dogs for all the Valkyries. Obviously.
What if could you make like a flotation device out of hot dogs to wear during the, like if you got flooded?
Yes, hot dogs are notoriously buoyant. So
that's why when you boil them, they float on top of the pot.
That's right. Science.
So I wasn't quite sure how to proceed with like making our way through here because there's so many different ways that we can go. But I did want to hit up a few features of this area, like Granny Ray.
Yay!
Susan Sarandon?
Susan Sarandon.
Granny.
Does she come back?
Damn
Does
it,
Granny Rags
Janet.
come back in the second game, and is it Susan Sarandon again?
I don't think she does.
I don't think she does either.
Well,
I think
you
he's
can probably
referenced.
murder her, Matt. I assume you can murder her here.
Okay, but there's clearly like a canon ending to this game because there's a sequel that picks up from it. So
Granny Rags, Granny.
Oh, speaking
That's a
of ensuring
terrible
canon
Susan Sarandon
endings,
voice.
I just thought it'd be
I
funny.
do like the.
I thought it'd be funny to shoot Samuel with a tranq dart. He was standing next to a flight of stairs, just to sort of watch him tumble down. You know, like as a prank. And I did it, and then the game was like, the Loyalist conspiracy has been disbanded. And
Wow.
You can't tranq dart anyone in the Hound's pits. It's lame.
It's so not fair. I mean, roofing your friends is one of the best things you can do in real life. And why
Yeah.
can't you
It's
do it
not
in
a-
the game?
called a prank.
It's ketamine, Vanessa. It's not roofies.
What?
All right,
What
hold
just
on.
happened?
Can I just say something? I know we're getting
Is
ready
Elon
to,
Musk in the chat? Like, what's going on?
getting ready to get into Granny Rags. Got to go on the record as saying Susan.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Susan Sarandon. Heck yeah. Susan
Yes,
Sarandon.
right? Okay, so Jim, this is what I was going to say. This is what I was saying a minute ago. If Susan Sarandon is sexy grandma, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all in. I'm 100%. I never thought I was into sexy grandma. Now I am,
Sexy
'cause
grandma
it's
doesn't
Susan
talk like this.
Sarandon.
That sexy grandma. So it talks like this. Garbage. Oh, gotta feed the birds. Where are the birds?
It's me, Granny Rags.
My skin's on fire. I'm in love with Granny Rags.
Love Granny Rags.
It's like they definitely
this is canon
wrote.
now. This is canon for the Square Roots podcast. Okay, sexy grandma is no longer this lady. She's Susan Sarandon.
Why is she moaning?
Because she's hot.
She's so hot, she can't help
She can't
it.
help it. So she's so erotic.
I bet she's got some hot dogs in her pockets.
Hey Susan, want to share a hot dog? you get on one end, I'll get on the other.
Yeah, you gotta
Lady
do
in
it
the
like those
Tramp, that thing.
dogs in that dog movie.
Well, what I like about Granny
Okay.
Rags is that
I
she is
mean-
canonically super hot, too, because you can use the heart, and the heart will be like,
Oh yeah.
she used to have suitors, like, banging down her door, and
That's
men
what she
wouldn't
asked you
leave
to
her
do,
alone.
basically. Like, get rid of these guys knocking on her
Bang
door.
down her door.
Yeah.
This is a real life lesson, which is that, pretty women turn into old women.
Yeah, but she,
Vanessa, I know you're only 22, but
Wow.
this is something that you should probably, think about.
Women out
wow,
there, warning,
Matt.
warning.
Wow. But
I'm
she,
gonna be a hideous old hag.
she's not a hideous old hag. She
And men
was
just
like,
get more attractive as they get older, so it's not fair. but
Women
it's just
also,
life.
I mean, case in point, Susan Sarandon. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
shit,
Susan
you're right.
Sarandon?
it looks like Jim is on fire and steam is rising off of him.
Well, we're talking about Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. Literally on his video camera feed, there was steam coming off of him. It was weird. So there's
I can see
a.
the glistening, like, his forehead is
Yeah.
shining and gleaming. It's amazing.
I said you can find Granny Rags' diaries, and she talks about it, how she used to be the super hot socialite, and then she married they kept trying to set her up with emperors and stuff, and she met her husband and was very successful and powerful. They were a real power couple, but then she met someone else called the Outsider, and things started to change. And then eventually she got obsessed with making bone charms and finding bone charms, and the diary implies that she started making them out of her husband's bones.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm sure it's what he would have wanted.
I think it also implies she killed him and then made the
Well,
charms
yeah, there's that.
to appease
so-
her boyfriend, the Outsider.
Yeah. So there are some men banging on her door trying to get in.
One is
and
Matt.
she wants you to get rid of them.
I went to the balcony.
Did not do.
I
Oh.
went to the balcony and then just tranked all 3 of them.
Well done.
I opened the door and then I shot them all in their fucking faces.
Wow.
Why didn't you do it,
What
Vanessa?
Did you know that in this game, sometimes if you're close enough to an enemy and you shoot them with your gun, their head flies off of their body?
Well,
I
the
did not know
tutorial
that,
for
'cause I
the
never did it.
what's it called? The like shred bomb shows a body falling to like
Oh, yeah,
5
the
pieces.
razor grenade or whatever.
Yeah.
Spring razor.
Spring razor, yeah. You know, I don't like those. I want to be able to like throw it down in somebody's path, but you have to go and place it on the ground, so I never use them.
Oh, I really want to use those. I wish they weren't lethal, but I think I might have to make an exception for like a guard that I don't like or something.
You got to use your stop time power, Matt, and then you can go put it on to the guard themselves.
time powers?
Okay.
Shit.
Ooh.
Since I don't know that I'll hunt down every bone charm and rune, but because I feel like I'll hit a point where I'm like, what do I care about these runes? But right now, I'm definitely collecting all of the runes, and I will try that. Good suggestion, Vanessa. Johnny has highlighter colored pants on today. That's weird.
So you're sure to see his legs. So after you get rid of Granny's suitors, she gives you a rune, and then she has another request for you, which is to poison the distillery.
Okay, there's more to that. Why does she want us to do that?
Well, I don't know, Matt, because I didn't do this quest, so you tell me.
Well, it turns out that the Bottle Street Gang, who runs this distillery, they are creating their own knockoff versions of Sokolov's elixir, which is our health elixir, basically. And if you accept her mission and you go into the distillery, which is its own like unique area, you will learn that they are using like a third of a Sokolov elixir and then a bunch of sugar water. So they're just ripping people off like assholes.
Yeah.
And what you can do is kill everyone here and then essentially taint their knockoff elixir with some rat plague. So that nobody wants to use it anymore. Now, you will find a list of people that are buying their knockoffs because they're so poor and desperate. And it's typically like, well, this family of 4 needs it real bad. And this family of 5 and these 2 sad, poor old people all really depend on this cheap knockoff elixir because they can't afford the real elixir. But if you're playing High Chaos like I am, you'll go ahead and taint it anyway. And I guess just kill those families?
What do you taint it with?
You have to steal some rat viscera from the medical guy, the doctor's house.
Dr. Galani, I believe is his name?
Yeah. Dr. Steve Galani.
Dr.
Yep,
Dr.
Dr.
Galani.
Steve Galani. Which is another fun little area that you can go into. It's a small little area that you can, well, if you're playing it like me, you can sneak around and kill 10 guards and rob the place blind.
I just went upstairs.
This is what reminds me of Thief, which is an old Thief and Thief 2, which are old PC games that I really adore that really are part of the
451 games.
Really part of the building blocks of the immersive sim that we play today, where you would have your mission to go do your thing, but then you could sneak into houses and banks and like rob the place blind. And this feels like that, where you don't have to do this, but there's a whole area here with a ton of stuff to steal. and a ton of guards to kill or knock out. It's a lot of fun. But you do. Dr. Galani has some rat viscera. He's studying the rat plague. So you steal that, and then you go to the distillery and you, I guess, put the viscera in their knockoff elixir. And it's for the greater good. Some people die, but
okay. So those, I think, are the main highlights of this area. There's also a fella named Griff, who's being held by some of the Hatter gang, and if you free him,
is the Hatter gang?
Is it the Hatters?
I said Bottle Street gang.
Oh, okay. Maybe these are the Bottle Street guys.
I think it is the Bottle Street guys. Yeah. But
okay.
He's if you save him, he's a little merchant for you in this mission and in the next one, because he's still around here in the next one.
Yeah, he sells. Well, he. I don't think he sells you anything in this mission, but in the next one,
he does. He says if you come back, I think you can go back and buy stuff from him.
You just follow him over to where his shop is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Which isn't even really a shop. It's just like a place in the alley. And
he's just standing there.
It's like this, like, stoop.
But he sells some extra upgrades, which is handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I get to find, if I go back here in the next chunker, can I find him and buy some upgrades?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you didn't let him out, though.
I did let him out.
Oh. So how did y'all get past the walls of light into the next section?
Well, I got a question for you first, Vanessa.
I'll go first.
Why didn't you help Granny Rags?
Oh. I didn't help Granny Rags because I am going for the ghost run, and I found it difficult to figure out a way to get rid of these three guys without them noticing me, because they're all clumped together.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to
I think it is possible, but I didn't do it. And then I certainly didn't want to poison the distillery. So I just left Granny to her own means. I'm sure she'll be fine.
How dare you?
She'll be fine.
You let an old woman defend for herself against a gang.
She'll be fine. They can't get in.
But you're apparently playing the low chaos run, where that's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's the natural order of things. I'm sure she can use her feminine charms to wrap them around her little finger. Granny, Granny,
have to let it linger.
Granny Rags. So, Jim, how did you get past these wall of lights?
I went up onto the roofs, and then up and over the roofs.
Matt.
I rewired them so that they would kill the guards that walked through them, but not me. It was delightful. I think one of them, the second one, you have to go past first. The first one you can rewire basically immediately. The second one you have to go around, up and over, and then rewire. But I definitely rewired them because that's a goddamn delight. It is so fun and funny to watch the guards just walk through all nonchalant and then turn to ashes.
Does anyone react to it? Are they like, huh?
If somebody is standing there, if there's a second guard, which there is, then they'll be like, what? But then you go cut that guy's throat and you're good to go.
Do they just assume that it's like a technical malfunction, or do they start looking for you?
I don't know that I don't know. None of these people survived long enough for me to get the details on that. Because I'm a killer. I don't know if you guys know this, but you're playing an assassin.
I think you're playing a bodyguard.
I think that the game explicitly tells you, once you break out of the prison and go meet the resistance, that you are an assassin.
Yeah, they do use that word.
So I am assassinating people. I'm playing this game the way God intended.
Oh.
All right, let's move this along a little bit. We're 2 hours and 10 minutes into this thing.
Yes, we are. We're too far into this.
Oh. Suddenly, the person that's editing the show really wants to push things along. I think that just talked shit to me about this like 2 days ago. You were like, whoa, when you're editing, you're really like, gotta move this thing along.
No, I meant when you pick up your cat. You only pick up your cat when you're the one that's not editing. As I know, that's the thing I always have to cut out, is Matt picking up.
She hissed at me tonight. We're not friends anymore.
Sad.
Did I tell you guys that I have guinea pigs in the house?
What? Why?
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk to them, touch them.
Don't like them.
Did you take them in from someone who had evacuated?
Yes.
I see.
That's right.
Are they your children's guinea pigs?
They're my ex-wife's guinea pigs.
So sort of?
My children kind of hate them.
Okay.
They're awful.
My daughter,
just the worst pets.
My daughter loves them, but she's allergic to them. And my son, whose room they sleep in at his mother's house, hates them.
Wow.
It's like, I can't sleep at night. All they do is squeak and claw at things.
So in the next section,
this has been guinea pig talk. Jim, don't cut this.
The next section is the Overseer's compound. The first thing we see is Overseer Martin being held here, kind of in the middle of this open square by just one guy who's taunting him, conveniently with his back to us.
Yeah, he doesn't turn around for anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's just like, you suck, look at you, you're in these stocks, ha 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 ha.
Well, Matt, he didn't want to see your heart breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you go, you choke him out or whatever you choose to do, and we free Martin, who's like, awesome.
Well,
I'm gonna go.
I was looking around because he's got two locks. He's in a metal stock, right? And there's two locks on them. So I was like, okay, I'll just take out my sword and attack those stocks. And it murdered him and then went to game over. The Loyalist conspiracy is disbanded.
Johnny, you can't murder Martin.
I didn't mean to murder him. I didn't see the giant switch next to him.
Yeah, there's a giant lever that you pull to let him out. So
I liked that I snuck up behind his captor and murdered him, and he turned to ash, and the guy was just like, "Cool, that makes sense."
Why did he turn to ash?
The world is fine. My whole world hasn't changed.
They all
because
know there's
you
magic,
stabbed
right?
a man, and then he turned into ashes like Thanos snapped.
Is that a rune or something you have that bodies turn to ash?
It's an upgrade.
It's a upgrade that you can get.
Yeah, power.
I feel like people in this world know that there's magic stuff happening.
They do, but they don't like it.
Knowing that magic stuff is happening, it's not the same as having somebody.
Have you tried blinking in front of someone? They're like, "What? What the? That's not possible."
I mean, I feel like you are establishing my point, which is that when you blink in front of somebody, they're like, "What?" But when you kill someone and their body disintegrates, they just don't notice or care.
So we let him go. He wanders off to go make his own way to the Loyalists. And we work our way into the compound where we overhear a couple of overseers saying, "Hey, you ever hear about the Heretics brand? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? How you can brand an overseer and then they're social pariahs for the rest of their life? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Weird."
Yep. And then I think you get a little pop-up to even encourage you further by being like, new mission clue added.
Yeah.
And we get a suggestion in our journal that maybe we don't have to kill this Campbell guy after all.
Well, the game likes to give you a non-lethal option to eliminate your targets. Mm-hmm. Which I think is the coward's way to do it.
I think it's the more fun way to do it.
I mean, more fun, sure, maybe, but these are conspirators that assassinated the Empress. What do they deserve?
Jail. So we.
All right, we're about to have a discussion about the death penalty. Vanessa. No, never mind.
We have other ways to get in here. You can sort of go up and through an open window. You can go through some kennels. You can go around back through the backyard. Anyone have any interesting break-in methods to get into this compound? Jim?
I went downstairs through the kennels. Kennels are downstairs, right?
Yeah.
Went through the kennels. I think this is the long way. So I actually played through this mission twice. Because I played through it once on my PC and then reloaded an old save to start from the beginning on my Steam Deck. And I went through the kennels the first time, but there's a much quicker way if you just stay above and like bounce along the street lamps and stuff. You can go right into the second floor, which is way faster than going through the kennels.
Yeah, I went through the kennels this time and regretted it.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
Kennels are tricky too because there's doggos down there that will detect you.
This is another game with fantasy dogs. Dragon Age has those weird fantasy dogs. This game has they look like monster dogs.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do not. They're just hounds.
They got weird crocodile heads.
You guys are losers. I went through the kennels, through the backyard, I went through everything. I went through every piece of fucking real estate in this level.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hightailed it through there.
There's like a bone charm in the kennel too, or something.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, I'm playing, as I have said many times, I am playing High Chaos. What's wrong with me that I have to knock the dogs out with the sleep darts?
Aww.
I can't kill those dogs. I'm not killing dogs, okay? They're dogs.
You talked about cutting a little girl's head off earlier.
I don't think I did. I think you talked about that. You were the one that was like, "Wear the little girl's face around."
You talked about cutting her head off.
Killing the dogs doesn't even count towards, like, if you're going for a no-kill run, you can kill as many dogs as you want to.
That's the title of the episode.
God. Finally, a game for me.
But eventually, no matter how we get in, window, kennel, front door, back door, we make our way to where Campbell has laid out some wine for him and Captain Curnow.
Mm-hmm. And that lady had asked us to save her uncle, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's important to know.
So we have some options here of what we can do with this wine. Y'all tamper with it? You do a tamper?
I did. You know, if I were the captain, I would note that the wine that the High Overseer is drinking is red, and the one that I'd be drinking is green.
That just means it's special, extra flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I had a different experience.
Oh. I really wanted to swap them out. I so wanted to swap them.
It doesn't let you swap them?
You can.
Yeah, you can swap it.
But I wanted to keep them alive.
Tell me, I had a different experience, and mine, it felt buggy almost. But please, Vanessa, tell me.
Well, in my experience, I spilled the wine. Then I sort of hung out on a high bookshelf as they came in, and Campbell's like, "Oh, have some delicious wine." Wait a minute. Oh, the delicious wine is spilled. Then he mutters, "Guess we'll have to do this the hard way." And Cunro's like, "What?" Campbell's like, "Never mind. Please come with me to my special room where I keep my special wine." So they head downstairs, and you need to kind of sneak along and follow them. There's guards that you need to avoid being seen by. And as they're going, they talk about why Captain Curnow's there, and he's like, "Oh, you know, this woman from the Golden Cat was killed," and Campbell's like, "Oh, I know, one whore dies and everyone loses their mind. It's crazy." And he takes him down to the cellar where there's a switch in a statue that he flips, and he opens a secret door. And he takes Captain Kurnow into his secret den of sin, where he has a phonograph and some mattresses on the floor and some braziers scattered around.
So does this mean in this timeline, bras were created early? Is this due to whale magic or Sokolov?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's Sokolov. Sokolov 100% invented the bra.
Ah, okay.
And he's like, hey, Captain Kurnow, look at my beautiful painting. And Captain Kurnow turns to look at it, and then Campbell draws his sword when the captain's back is turned, and that's when I shot Campbell with a sleep dart. Then Kurnow turned around, and he's like, oh, wow, he was gonna kill me. I should probably arrest you, but I'm not going to. Okay, thanks, bye, I'm running away.
Wow.
That's not what happened with me.
No,
What happened with you?
Well, I first of all, as soon as I got out of the kennels, I looked at a statue. I have played this game before, but it's 12 years ago, so I didn't remember that there's a secret room. But I did see that
there's a big glowing gem.
There's a big green gem in his eye. I was like, I should probably push that. So I pushed that and explored the room, including like the phonograph of him admitting he kills all these sex workers. And
toots. I believe the term you're looking for is
Sworkers. And then I went upstairs and I did knock. One of the two deaths I got at this choker was I was going up, the grand escalier to the second floor. There was a guard on there and he did turn around and saw me. So I tracked him and then he fell over the railing and broke his neck.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's some real Mr. Bean stuff right there.
But he fell into like a shadowy corner behind some stuff, so I was like, you know what, this worked out. So then
when are you gonna accidentally steal someone's wife? That's what I want. That's what I want to know.
Sorry, you're dating James A. Caster.
Oh my god, your Mr. Bean voice is indistinguishable from your horny voice.
You're right.
I don't know how to feel about that.
So
is that the secret to Mr. Bean? Is he just really horny all the time?
That's his secret.
I mean, that deep voice is clearly doing a lot of work for him.
So I went to the meeting room and then hid in a corner. There's like a little sort of folding screen thing, and I went to the window there. I was looking around, and you hear him come in, and it's like Seymour in The Simpsons. Like, he takes forever to open the door. It really gives you like a good 30 seconds to get it. He's like, it's not this key. It's not that key. But he eventually comes in. And then when he said like the part about how I'm going to have to do this the hard way, I assumed he was about to stab the guy. So I shot him with a tranq dart. Unfortunately, then the good cop you have to save, well, you can save, runs away and does alert the guards. And then all the screens on the windows shut. And then it's a lot harder to get the guy to the interrogation chair, but I did it anyhow. What about Jim?
Oh, yeah, Jim.
I knocked I believe I spilled the wine, and then I knocked both guys out with sleep darts. And then I still got credit for saving Kurnow.
Yeah.
So I still crossed that objective off, and then I picked up the overseer, took him to the interrogation room, and branded his face.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was not easy carrying his body around, his unconscious body around, and avoiding all the other guards that are running around looking for you.
Yeah. I had to like... at least you can blink while carrying a body. I wasn't sure if that would work, but it does. Yeah, and I had to like go from light to light in that stupid hallway.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Yeah.
Luckily, they made it a little bit easy and gave you those like high windows that are open, so you can just blink directly into the rooms if you're high enough.
Oh, they weren't open for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then as I was branding him, like people kept running in, seeing me, so I had to like keep dragging people. There's a little stack of bodies of sleeping people in front of the chair. It did not go gracefully. What about you, Matt?
Well, Vanessa, you didn't really say what you did. I assume you branded him as well?
I did. I branded him a heretic, but I knocked everyone out, so nobody saw it and nobody heard it, and I was able to leave normally out the back door.
Did you have to take him to the interrogation chair as well?
I did, and that was tricky
the only way to
because
do
he had
that?
been so low down. Yeah, it's the only way to do it. He has to be in that chair.
I also discovered the room, the secret room early, and I thought that's what bugged me out. I don't know if it bugged, but I don't really know what happened. I discovered the secret room. I killed nearly every guard around. There was a pack of like 4 guys. One was like I felt like a drill sergeant and some privates, that were all out right in the front entrance to this area. But other than them, I had killed every guard I could find, and I had found the secret room. So I did what Jim did with the open windows in the above the doors, and I snuck into the room where the overseer was supposed to meet with Kurnow. And I was just kind of hiding above the, what are they, bookcases, I think? I guess they're bookcases. Just kind of hiding up there. And what happened for me is the overseer chased Captain Kurnow into the room with a couple of guards flanking him. And they just kind of were trying to run him down and murder him.
Oh,
There was no subtlety. There were no glasses of wine. There was no taking him down to the fucking toot room. It was just straight up, we're going to kill this guy. So they are chasing Captain Kurnow, and they run by me, because they did not come like into the room and chit chat. They just all ran straight through the room. And I jumped down behind them and started killing people. Like I killed, there's 2 guards and the overseer, and they're chasing Captain Kurnow. So I just jumped down and followed, because nobody's alive basically, other than those 4 guys on the bottom floor. Mm-hmm. So I jumped down and chased them and killed them one at a time. They did make it down to the first floor where the group of privates were, and past them. So I did have to then stop and kill all of them. And then I caught up with the overseer, and I just cut his throat wide open right in front of Kurnow, who was like, well, you saved my life. He was kind of huddling in a corner at this point.
Oh, poor guy.
He was like, well, you saved my life, so that's cool of you. And he left. And that was it. It was very weird. In fact, I reloaded it because I didn't understand why. I've played this before, and I didn't understand why my version of this was this, where I'm sitting up on the top of this bookcase where nobody can see me. But it doesn't seem to matter. Once you get into the room, the scene clicks. And I don't know why. I don't know what I missed here. That it was just a chase scene?
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know what happened. It was almost like Scooby-Doo, but with murder. Like, we were going in and out of one door and popping out on the other side of the room. It didn't make a lot of sense. But it was a good time. And I killed everyone except for Captain Kurnow, who I saved, because I did Google this, because I wasn't sure whether this would affect my chaos ranking. And it does not. And it felt like, like if it's not going to affect my chaos ranking, why not keep these people alive for their story bits? And yeah, so I did kill the Overseer and all of his guards and everyone. I killed every single living person in every area of this game. Other than
You have to do it in a Gary Oldman voice. I killed everyone.
Yep. Yeah. I killed everyone. That's my Gary Oldman voice. It was a good time. It was fun. It was weird. I don't know why. It felt like it was bugged out. But I don't know. It just turned into a weird chase
Maybe
scene.
it's just like a weird high chaos thing. Crazy
Yeah,
things start
I don't
happening.
know. But it was pretty fun. I mean, I had already been down in the whorehouse. Sorry, the toot house. The Sworker house. Which, you know, I mean, I get the themes that this game is playing with, but God.
The guy's corrupt.
Yeah. Well, Vanessa, aren't they all? Aren't they all?
I hope not.
They are.
So, after we take care of Campbell, we head out back to where Samuel's waiting. There's a few things to kind of do in this backyard if you feel like it.
There's a rune back here. Maybe
There's
two.
a rune. There's a woman who is being threatened by an overseer for being a witch, and another one is defending her, being like, no, that's my sister, it's no witch. And you can save them if you're quick enough. And then there's a room where an overseer is complaining that he's having early plague symptoms and asks his companions to exterminate him.
Oh, that's not. I got that. I did not get the first one, or if I missed it. But I got the overseer with the plague symptoms, but he did not ask them to exterminate him. He was like crying and screaming. And I was just sitting
weird.
up. I was sitting in a corner watching the situation play out, waiting for them to start killing each other so that I could blink in and start killing.
So you're definitely getting a different experience, because in mine he was saying, I need you to do this for me, I'm already having the symptoms, and the other guy was really reluctant, and then the sick one kneels down on the ground and the other one starts reciting scripture and then takes care of him. Do you see that guy, Jim?
I was actually gonna say I'm gonna jump. I have to. I'm about to be gone for like an entire week. I have a bunch of stuff I have to do before.
Okay, bye-bye.
I leave tomorrow.
Bye.
So. Bye. All right, bye guys.
We'll have to make up what Jim did for his level up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. He didn't play any video games. I think that he just had diarrhea for a whole week.
Well, we'll get to
It's
it when we get to
crazy.
it.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
And then we find Samuel, and he takes us back to the Hound's Pit.
Whoa.
It's time for my
That's
special...
not what happened with me.
Oh, what happened to
I
you?
killed Samuel.
You did not.
You can't.
It's time for my special supernatural report. Number of ghosts cited in this level, 1. That's right, I did it. I ghosted my way through this whole level.
Oh.
No.
Didn't kill anyone, and nobody saw me.
I did really well with like not being spotted until I got to the backyard. And then at that point, like I kind of gave up on being sneaky because one of the dogs smelled me, and then suddenly like 10 guards were like Metal Gear Solid sound, like
Yeah.
and I was just like, fuck it. And I just started killing people. I was like hiding on rooftops and shooting their faces off. It was honestly, it's pretty entertaining to like blow somebody, like literally blow somebody's head off where it just goes flying across the screen. Like, it's funny.
So I assume
but I did continue to trank the dogs because I'm not a monster like Vanessa. I want to talk about the difference between me killing all the evil humans and that being terrible, and you choking out the humans but killing the dogs.
I didn't say I did kill the dog. I said you're allowed to kill the dog. Did I kill any dogs? No.
Okay. All right. Johnny, how many dogs did you kill?
Who's to say?
So Johnny, did you achieve a low or a high chaos in your beaning?
Well, I showed you a screenshot of it, but I guess I didn't show the listeners, so they don't know.
Didn't.
I got a low chaos. Low chow, sorry.
Congratulations. All right, so that's it for this time. Next time, we will be playing 3 missions: the House of Pleasure, the Royal Physician, and Lady Boyle's Last Party.
Ooh, 3 missions. That's a lot.
Well, that seems like a lot. Are you sure we don't need to take a week off?
Ooh, that's a good
I
idea.
think
That
we
was a
can do
burn
it.
on Johnny.
Not nice.
All right, next up, what are you, Johnny, squarely against in this chunker?
I am squarely against... You know what? I'm roundly for doing a Mr. Bean run. I think I need to play more of these games this way. Like a chill, whatever happens, happens, loosey-goosey. Don't stress. You don't need to get every bone charm. You don't have to find every rune. You don't have to be a ghost. You just have fun. Sometimes you gotta shoot someone when they see you. It's okay. Loosey-goosey.
I think it's a great way to play. I think that as much as this game rewards stealth, it has some really fun combat mechanics too, and in some ways it's a shame to miss those.
I gotta practice parrying, though. What about you, Vanessa? What are you roundly for or squarely against?
I guess I'm roundly for that dreamy old outsider.
Old?
Who doesn't
He looks like a teen.
want a mysterious, floppy-haired, sweet boy visiting you in your dreams and giving you godlike powers? I know I do. And Matt, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
I'm squarely against killing dogs. I can't believe you guys killed dogs. I love puppies.
Aw.
Thanks, Matt. All right, well, we're almost done, but we have one little segment to squeeze in here.
Oh, he's coming
And
back. I think we can get Matt's second opinion.
Okay.
He's walking. He's just
So
touching
rude.
his microphone.
How dare I have the fucking hiccups and have to go do something about it? Spend fucking 4 hours talking about your love for the outsider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm squarely against having the hiccup.
Also, why is your Matt voice sound like such a fat guy? You're cancer.
Sure.
I want you to know this.
I'm so out of breath.
I don't think
Why
I
don't you
know
just
how
fucking
to
pretend
do
to
a
play
man
the
voice
tuba
that
while I'm
isn't a
gone?
fat-
I'm a thin man. I'm a thin man.
Okay, just let that. What are you really for or squarely against?
I don't know. Right now, I feel like I'm squarely against Vanessa.
In the
I'm
game.
working on my thin man voice.
I am roundly for the... Well, listen. First of all, I'm roundly for this game. In fact, I'm going to spoil the last episode. I'm roundly for this game. It's so good.
wow.
But I'm roundly for just the chaos, and I don't mean that like high or low chaos. I just mean the chaos of the game. Things pop off, and you are just suddenly in this position where you have to live or die or reload your save. But it gets so fucking crazy and fun. This is a super well designed game with really well designed levels. This first level it's the easiest level in the game, which obviously isn't shocking because it's the first real level of the game. But it also it's so smartly designed. Like there's little windows and street lamps and all sorts of stuff you can sneak around on. But like I know just from playing this game that this stuff's going to go away. But it's teaching you, how to sneak around the game. Mm-hmm. But I guess overall, what I really am rallying for this week is this stupid chasing that I just kind of randomly got into with the Overseer and Captain Carnow, because I knew that didn't affect my chaos, and I did want to save him because these are characters that are going to come back. So why not save them? And it was just so fucking silly. It was so weird and dumb and silly when they all just ran by me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I just went into fucking chaos mode of like, I gotta like chase these guys down and kill all these people, and just barely managed to save this guy. It was a good time. Like I enjoyed the heck out of this chunker. This is a fucking fantastic game.
It does sound delightful.
I hope I managed to say that and not sound like a big old porker like Vanessa says I sound like.
That's just my man voice. That's how I do an impression of every man. All right, now it's time for a very brief segment, no more than 5 minutes, called Level Up. Matt, how did you level up?
Vanessa, this was your big fear, is that if the level up got moved to the back of the episode, we would truncate it. And I don't know why. I just want to chit-chat with my friends now. It's time.
I'm sleepy and I want a snack.
Go eat some peanut butter because you have hiccups. I promise. It'll solve 2 problems at once.
Okay.
I do want to go look at the Aurora Borealis, but I can do that in like 10 minutes.
All right. Well, I guess I didn't do anything this week. It's not like a hurricane came by. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
No, level up, Matt. I'm saying we got time.
Hurry up, Matt.
We got time.
Well, my level up was, I guess there was a hurricane, and I survived. Fuck you, nature. You'll never take me down. I did have a hurricane hit my area, and it was nasty. And honestly, there's something mesmerizing about extreme weather like that, where you're just like staring out your window, watching, your trees bend over sideways in the wind. Like it's weird.
Well, Matt, the ionization of the atmosphere really does affect your brain, and it does make you feel like it makes your skin tingle. It is one of the most powerful feelings I've experienced. And I'm not being sorry. This isn't a bit. I feel so good in storms, and I love the feeling. And that's why I want to go out in them, because it makes me feel alive. No, I mean, obviously, not this bad. I'm not saying it's great that Florida got hit by 2 hurricanes in a row, and I apologize for saying before, I wish I lived in Florida, because I didn't know it was going to be that bad. But I do love storms, and there is something really enticing about going outside. That's my hot take, Matt.
I years and years ago, not recently, but there was a tropical storm that hit us, and I remember walking a mile in the storm to the beach, basically. Not really the beach, the water from where I was, and there were docks out there, and I just went and sat at the end of this dock as these crazy winds beat the fucking water into these crazy, configurations, and just sitting there and soaking it in and soaking up the rain, and it is crazy it is. I don't know how to describe it.
You feel small in a good way. It's like looking up and there's a million stars out, and you're like, you just feel your place in the universe. You can put the Vangelis in here, Jim. It's fine.
And then I remember somebody driving by in a truck and screaming, "Look at that!" So that also stood out in my memory. Yeah, sorry, Jim. You're gonna have to cut that. You can't. We can't.
You can
leave
bleep
that
it.
Bleep it. Yeah, bleep it. Look at that F slur. And me just being like, I'm just a dude sitting on a dock in a storm, in a deadly storm. What did I do?
Are we sure Jim's
Anyway.
editing? He's going on a trip tomorrow, he said.
Yeah, I don't think he remembers that he's editing. We'll find out.
I asked him before we started recording. He's leaving on Monday. Well, on top of that, which was, not bad for me, actually. If anybody's wondering, it was not bad. The wind was crazy. It rained like nuts. I do not live in an evacuation zone. I do not live in a flood zone. I did not flood. There was a tree in my street this morning, which was a little scary because what if that hit my house? But it didn't, and we were good. My other level up is I have been, it's October and I've been tearing through a ton of horror movies. I have watched, I'm not even going to try to go through the list. I'm over a dozen at this point. But I watched The New Salem's Lot and I thought it was fucking terrible.
I'm hopping in on your level up because that's my only level up is watching The New Salem's Lot.
Please go ahead, Vanessa, because my headphones just died.
Right. The New Salem's Lot is a movie, as opposed to the Old Salem's Lot, which is a miniseries. And I think the problem with that is that they're trying to cram a novel's worth of character development into 2 hours, and it does not work. The pacing of this new movie would seem to imply that this guy comes to town, and the next day, 2 people are killed and turned into vampires, and he becomes the town's, foremost vampire hunter overnight with his old school teacher who goes to him for some reason, and his new girlfriend who he's dated for a day, and then the next night, the whole town is vampires, and they have to battle and kill everyone.
Yeah.
But there was one shot that showed, this house has 8 bottles of milk that haven't been collected, or this house has a whole bunch of mail, piling up the mailbox. And that was the only indication of, actual passage of time that I saw in the whole thing.
Yeah, there's legitimately one line that is it's been 6 weeks or something like that, and the movie itself just completely fails to show that to you. The New Salem's Lot, which it's basically a direct-to-video, right? It was shot, clearly made as a movie, as a theater movie, and it completely, and then it was direct to video, which there were a lot of questions as to why that was, and then I think watching it you can see why. They truncate the whole fucking story of Salem's Lot so much that it just turns into a cheap thriller vampire movie, which is legitimately, I'm not a huge Stephen King fan, and I've read Salem's Lot, and I did not love it. And I watched the 90s Rob Lowe version, and after watching the new one, watched the 70s miniseries version. And both of them are way better than this one. It cuts out so much that it just turns into cheap fucking schlock. It is bad. Real fucking bad.
The sort of point of Salem's Lot was supposed to be about the decline of this small town.
Yeah.
And vampirism as a metaphor for that, right?
Exactly. And also, I understand that adapting novels is hard, but Stephen King is an excellent writer when it comes to building out a story with lots of characters, notable and recognizable characters, and events happening that lead into each other in a way that makes you feel like this is a real place. And this takes Salem's Lot and just turns it into a nothing vampire schlock movie. It just it neuters everything about Salem's Lot, which again, I've read the book and seen the other versions of, and I don't love. And this is somehow the worst example of. So that new Salem's Lot, real trash. And like, you know, if you're on the fence, don't waste your fucking time. It's got a couple of things I liked. I liked that the crosses like lit up when vampires were around and stuff like that, but like nothing that even remotely comes close to making it worthwhile to watch. Terrible. And that's it, I guess. I mean, I could talk about, you guys want to hear about my other 24 movies I've watched? No, that's fair. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Salem's Lot. I didn't like it either. I did think it had some vibes.
Did you finish it? I don't remember you finishing it.
I finished it. It had some vibes of like an old school Stephen King movie or adaptation, which I think they were trying to go for. They definitely spent some money on it. Like, it looked like a period film.
Oh, yeah. No, so that's... I'm sorry. So that is... I will say that... I want to say this. That's the one thing I liked about it. I liked that instead of... Which... I liked that they... Instead of modernizing it... Mm-hmm. Which the Rob Lowe version tried to do... I liked that it was a period piece, at least. Like, it was set in the 70s when the thing was written. And I think that I really, if they're, you know, in the future, when they inevitably do more Stephen King remakes, just set them when they're set. Like, another example of that is, I love the Tom Clancy, I've talked about it so many times on the show, I'm not going to go back into it. But I love the Tom Clancy books. Stop trying to modernize that and just set them during the fucking Cold War, which is when they make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's hard for some people when, like, something came out in their lifetime. We always kind of think of it as a contemporary thing, you know? It's like, oh, this movie, that, like The Matrix. The Matrix is a contemporary film, you know? It's like, well, it's 20 years old, maybe, but...
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you do it now.
Yeah. So that's my level up. Johnny, how did you level up?
Well, let's see. How did I level up? I mean, I played more Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh yeah, I played Phasmophobia on stream. That was really fun.
We identified 2 ghosts.
Yeah, I got 2 Chivos. That was great. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I watched Agatha all along. I haven't watched.
Oh man, that show is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I had to get Matt to explain to me what happened because I was very confused. Well, there's a whole lot of stuff I was confused by in that last 10 minutes of this episode, but I don't want to spoil it, so I won't go into it. And otherwise, I don't think anything super exciting has happened. I'm going through my memory box, and it looks like the answer is no. Nothing super exciting happened. Played some driving games. That's about it. It's a short one for Jim. What about you, Vanessa?
I already went. Okay, it's time for the Patreon plug. The Patreon is where you can get extra content for just a little bit of money a month. At the $3 level, you get all of our bonus content. At $5 level, you get all the bonus content, and you get to vote on upcoming games. And at any level, even if it's just $1, we will read your name at the end of the show. I'm gonna go first. I'd like to thank Amanda Pierce. It's July. John whispers with disdain. To Bumpkin says, twins now. Cut me some slack. Andy Best, Zachary Bullitt, and Harbison. Worked Muffin, Hexagon, Stardrifter, Jaybird, Johnny Five Alive, and Cerulean.
I'd like to thank Fei Fong Dong, David Green, Bree Girth, Seth G. Wake Up Call. Making Hat Bed. Eric Garby. Wishbone is gay. My battery is low. Cameron Shoei. And Eteril.
I'd like to thank Mostly Rational Person, Keysby Knight, Jason Timms, Wedge Coon, Jamie Black, Fresh Eyes, Justin Rash, Chris Sasaki. Vanessa's mom is now dating Mr. Bean. Loafing around.
Oh, no.
Sergeant Spaghetti, Justin Ham, John Scala, Jake Dickerson, Robert T, Nick, Persona 5 in 2025, Oh, You Don't Have the Right, I Kill Gods for Fun, and Star Healer.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you absolutely cannot be bothered to send an email, please come see our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. And Beesky at squarerootspod.beesky.social, except nobody checks it.
It's true.
Please rate,
review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Gaga, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links are in the show notes.
For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I've been Vanessa.
And I'm Matthew Van Zandt.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ransom
Bye.
notes keep falling out your mouth.